And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And where did we begin? There's a whole lot of videos I got to show you guys tonight. A lot of videos you got to hear tonight if you're listening to the audio-only version. But we got to talk about this this whole thing with the transgender swimmers. We got to talk about that because, I mean, come on. How are you going to have a biological XY male who identified as a male for like 25 years who all of a sudden now becomes a woman and says, you know what, I'm going to compete against the women? It's unfair. We'll talk about that specific ruling from Fina coming up here in a minute. Also, I don't think I mentioned the Air BNB kerfuffle on the last stream. I did my video about it, but I'm not really sure I went through it on the last stream. We're going to go through that on this stream. I'll just take you through it piece by piece, bit by bit, and talk about what's going on there. And if you were in that situation, what would you do? We'll get to that in a minute. Also, shout out to your main man, Andrew Gillum, the failed 2018 gubernatorial candidate from Florida who was facing off against Ron DeSantis. Thank goodness y'all dodged that bullet down in Florida. And really, I'm glad the whole country and the world dodged that bullet. This guy's back in the news, this time for fraud. I guess fraud is pretty much his middle name at this particular point in time. We'll talk about all of those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoyed what you are hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This is also a live podcast. If you want to hear it on the replay, audio only, it will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Subscribe to me over there. Give me a rating, a 5-star rating, a review, whatever you can do for me. That'd be very helpful. So we got a lot of topics on deck for tonight, and I'm gonna get to all those, of course, in a minute. The whole Ukraine gas prices, that was a crazy question that Joe Biden asked about that. And I was like, I'm not really sure what you were expecting me to say. What you want me to say? Yeah, but I won't get to that right now. You know what I got to do the first time that we get into the stream is shout out to the sponsors. Thank you to bhedesigns.com. They make these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can check them out through the link in the description box. Oh, we got to talk about that as well, Apu. I see some early donations from Apu. He's talking about gun control and rhinos. Oh, we're going to get there for sure. Remind me to get there if we don't toward the end of my monologue here. But also back to my sponsors. I had to say that right there before I forgot about it. But we have the beautiful handmade wooden flags right behind me. Again, bhedesigns.com. Also go to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. They've been around for a very long time, 25 plus years, right here in the good old state of Tennessee, Chattanooga to be exact. Shout out to my Senator Bill Haggerty for asking Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, about the inflation, and shout out to Jerome Powell for answering honestly. We'll get to that a little bit later as well. But again, patriotpost.us, links will always be in the description box below. If you're listening to me on the audio, there should be some kind of description section somewhere where these links are available. And of course, you got to go to my website, the main hub for everything. If you don't know where to find something, go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the homepage. For each video, I write an article with sources. So nobody can never say, hey, ABL, where'd you get that from? That's not correct information. You made that up. Cite your source. I always cite my sources in all my videos, always. And fact check me up. Fact check that Facebook. Fact check that YouTube. Fact check that random volunteer fact checker that gets no recognition or pay out of it. But anyway, I'm getting triggered. But again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also go to the contact page on that particular website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. There you can find my email address, my snail mail address, And my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, is all on the contact page. You can find whatever you need, right? If you send me something in the mail, in the physical mail, and it's crazy, I'm calling the federales on you immediately. They might do something, they might not, but I can threaten you that way. So don't send me nothing crazy. Again, anthonyblogan.com/contact to get to all that good information. And of course, last but not least, ablmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, mugs, and more right there on the website. Visit it today, bookmark it, refresh. You may see a new design or two on there whenever you go back. So ablmerch.com. All right, now, where shall we begin? There's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot happening. Where do we begin? I don't want to start right away with the trans swimmer, but maybe I do. You know what? I think what I'll do is start with the AirBNB because I covered that a while ago. And, well, I covered it. I didn't cover it on the live stream. I just covered it in my video. But when I do live streaming stuff, it's a little bit different, maybe to get you guys' live interaction, and they may see things they didn't see before. So I think what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and find that particular full video, and then I'm going to react to it. Matter of fact, I have it bookmarked already, so that won't be a difficult thing to do. Let's go ahead and pull that up right quick. So just before I even get into the video, which I have right here, before I get into it, I'm not sure this was actually AirBNB. I think the person was saying that they did an AirBNB, but I'm not really sure that they did that. So basically what I'm saying is the person may have just rented out a room in their home, not realizing exactly what that is. You understand? It's a difference between saying, okay, I'm going to put an ad in Craigslist and say, I have a room for rent for X amount of dollars, and it's temporary. You got to be there between this day and that day, and then listing your home or your house, like a piece of your home or a room or whatever on AirBNB is a little bit different. Terms, conditions, you got to, you're on the app, you're a host, and the money goes through that way. I'm not sure how this person did this, but they said it's an Airbnb type situation. I'll take their word for it, but I'm not quite sure that's exactly what happened. Either way it goes, this lady decided to rent out a room in her house for a little extra money. And this is the story that happened, how things unfolded. This is a big part of the reason why I refuse to engage in Airbnbs. See, I see you already saw it, J Flow. Don't open my door with the door emoji. Hilarious. So you already saw it. You already know what's going on. But I don't like Airbnbs personally. I don't like going to Airbnbs, nor would I ever host an Airbnb. I think there's exceptions to Airbnb. I think an Airbnb would be okay if you go to like a mountainous area where there's not a lot of hotels around, maybe. But even still, they got cameras on the inside. You got to understand what you're going to the Airbnb for. Do you trust them? Is it a good host? For me, I'd rather just go to a regular hotel. Okay, give me I don't want to say regular hotel. I'm not going to be in some bando-looking hotel, okay? I'm not trying to have roaches in the bathroom having a quinceañera, you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to hear the roaches playing. I don't want to hear no roach Mexican music. I'm not trying to compare roaches to Mexicans. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to have no roach Mexican music, house music, rap music, country music. I don't want to hear no line dancing, no clog stomping, no sombrero throwing. I don't want to hear no parties from no rodents or insects or nothing in my bathroom while I'm in there just trying to take a nap or go to bed or change into my underclothes or whatever. I don't want to have that going on. Give me a nice 4 or 5 star hotel. Oh yeah, I'm bourgeoisie. Ain't that how they say bougie? I'm bougie like that. Give me a nice 4 or 5 star hotel or a nice resort, and I'm good to go. Okay, that's what I want. I want my room to have a couch and a mini bar and all the amenities and a nice, secure building that's not in the ghetto. Right? I don't want a raggedy hotel, nor do I want an Airbnb, especially in the city area, because I've been to these Airbnbs before, and I'm gonna get to the video in a minute, I promise. But I've been to the Airbnb before, and you might not be from that area. You're seeing pictures, looks okay, but you're not doing your full research. It's like, okay, you go to Atlanta Atlanta's like this. I'm gonna just give an example right quick before we get to the video. Atlanta is funny. You could be in some parts of the Atlanta area, not always in the city, but in the Atlanta area, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. Go to Alpharetta or somewhere. Oh, perfect. But you go in the city, you go inside the perimeter, it could be a little dodgy. Edgewood, you could be on one part of Edgewood, you're in the ghetto. The other part, it's $1 million townhouse, a $1 million townhouse. So if the Airbnb is on Edgewood and you're not from Atlanta, you might not necessarily know where you are. You may see a picture of a beautiful place and it looks nice, but you're not looking right down the street where the dope boys are hanging out at some club and the club always gets shot up. You're right down the street. You're 1 block away in a beautiful area. So you're not doing your full research. So I don't want nothing like that going on. I want a nice hotel that's suited for me. That's safe, secure, nice amenities, nice and clean, as a hotel can get, but that's a different story. That's what I want. But I'll move right along. So here is the video, and then we get into a few more topics. We'll get into some more. But let me see if I can get some sound. Hopefully we don't have ear blasting music going on. Not music, but ear blasting sound. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is on Facebook. Some said that it was fake and it could have just been something that was contrived for Facebook, but I've seen worse than this. This right here is actually kind of mild.
Yeah. Don't trust no Airbnbs. Okay? So.
Now, there is some language, and you might not be able to understand their accent, but there are subtitles. I understand everybody's not necessarily, you know what I mean? But part of some of the language, it didn't get censored.
I can't even talk right now. I'm so pissed off. I didn't even know this shit could happen, but this shit is real and this shit is really going on. Goddamn. I call myself trying to find a way to goddamn pay off my mortgage a little better, a little quicker or whatever. So I put this ad out or whatever saying I was looking for someone to sublease one of the rooms in my house or whatever.
So she's talking about subleasing the room, but then she mentions Airbnb. Now, Airbnb, as far as I know, is not subleasing. Airbnb is similar to how a hotel operates, as far as I know. Okay, you go on the website, you find a home, find a host, you pay a certain amount of money, you stay there for a certain period of time, and then you're out. But subleasing is much different. At that point, you become a landlord, right? That's kind of how that works. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not a property expert. I'm not a real estate expert. You guys who are in the field, if I'm wrong about what I'm saying, please correct me.
It was gonna be supposed to be like this real smooth transaction, whatever. I went on vacation or whatever. The person was supposed to be gone 3 days prior to my return. So I'm talking to my housekeeper or whatever, XYZ. She's like, yo, that person is still here in your house. What do you mean they're still in my house? They're supposed to be gone. So when I get back and touch down in the city, this is still here in my house.
Now you got a squatter. So if the person was supposed to be gone by a certain time and they're not, and they're refusing to leave, that's called squatting. And that's not what you want. That's every landlord's worst nightmare. I'm not sure how they do it in hotels. I guess they call on the federales on you instantly. You can't squat in the hotel as far as I know. I'm not sure how that's done. Again, please pardon my ignorance of some of these things, but I've never heard about a squatter being in like a resort and just refusing to bounce.
Okay? Refusing to leave. So I didn't know what to do. I'm new to this shit. So I go down and I do
So there's a squatter right there, just walking in the house casually.
There you go, y'all.
Big fat, don't care, going straight to the kitchen, right? Getting some snacks, not even worry about it.
Straight to the kitchen. I ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere. So deal with it, the squatter says. Imagine your blood boiling as a landlord or whatever she would be qualified as. I presume she's the homeowner because she said she wants to pay off the mortgage very quickly. So it's probably the homeowner, and you have a squatter that's refusing to leave.
So deal with it. On top of her ass just intruded into my home, she disrespected You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've been trying to do the right way. I done went down there and got the all the paperwork that I need to do to get her ass evicted out my house, whatever. But that shit is a process. I have to go through protocols and all the other stupid legal blase bull.
So she's trying to get her evicted, but see, the thing is, tenants have rights, right? You can't just tell a tenant to get out instantly. 30 days to evict, and you got to have paperwork, and you got to talk to the sheriffs, the marshals, all that kind of stuff. You got to go through a process. You can't just go to a tenant and be like, yo, get out. I mean, you can do that, but legally they don't have to because they have rights as a tenant. You see what I'm saying? So if it was just a straight sublease situation where it was a room being rented out, you have a tenant and tenants have rights. That's just what that is. It's like I've been in an apartment before and I've been served an eviction notice. I never got evicted. But late on your rent or whatever, they serve you a notice. They can't just say, get out right now. There's a process. That's what the tenant or this squatter has on their side.
And then I just the police just left my house, and I'm like, get this out my house. And they're like, oh, she's a tenant now. She's a tenant. There's nothing. You and the police, okay?
My door. That's all I know.
Your door.
Okay, we got to add. I'm gonna just come back right here.
Get ready to unlock the full power of
Shopify. Okay, Shopify is great, but we need to have that ad right now. So she went to the police, and the police was like, well, she's a tenant. You can't just kick her out. You understand? If she's a tenant, she has rights, and you got to go through the process, 30 days to evict, all that kind of good stuff, right? So let's go back. The ad's over with. Let's go back, and then we'll continue. Intergalactic Citizen says, was a contract signed? If not, then no renter rights. I don't know about that. That's a really good question. And I don't know about a follow-up to this story, but I've heard these kind of stories happen before all the time. I've heard people squat on Airbnb. I've heard AirBNB, like actual legitimate Airbnb squatters. I've heard about that. I heard one story where the person rented out somebody's basement, and as soon as they were able to get the keys to rent it for a certain period of time, they immediately sublet their rental to somebody else, and then the other person squatted. And they couldn't get them out for a long time because of the laws that are in effect. I guess it depends on your state. Wherever you live, I guess it really depends on that. It could be different state to state. And remember the whole eviction moratorium? Oh, let's go back to the scene of the crime, so to speak.
Okay.
My door. That's all I know.
Your door.
I thought I watched the ad already. Okay, come on, man. Facebook I hate. It's like a necessary evil. It's like getting the root canal. Okay, we're watching this video game ad. Okay, great, fantastic. Let's go ahead and move forward. I'm not gonna get Luna. All right.
House. How about you get the out of my house? How about that's what you do? How about you get the out of my house? How about you get the out of my house? How about you get?
Imagine how that feels, though. This is your home. Somebody's in your home that you don't want to be there. But what you gonna do? You sub the room out. They're refusing to pay. They're refusing to leave. And what you gonna do? Nothing, because you have to wait for the process to go through.
Slam the door.
Shit, shit. Excuse me. You can record all you want. But I ain't going nowhere, okay? So deal with it.
This is what I'm dealing with, y'all.
I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but that right there, Airbnb, I'm cool on it. Any kind of subletting, I'm cool on that. I'm what I rather would do. I'm a homeowner. I would never rent a room in my house out ever to anybody. I don't care. It could be your grandmama. I'm not renting her a room at all, period. Okay, if I open my door to somebody, they're going to be here. They're going to stay here. It ain't going to be like, oh, you're going to rent a room and then leave. Because I know you probably ain't going to want to leave if you don't have the money, or I don't got no time to be dealing with your particular drama in your life. You in my house smoking drugs, drinking, acting the fool, bringing all types of pookies and ray-rays to my house. I don't want nothing to deal with it. You got to go over there with that kind of stuff. You understand? So I stay away from it. If I want to really get involved in real estate, what I do is like flip houses, something like that. I buy and sell it. So I buy it, fix it up, put my little profit on top, and then you just take it over here. I'm not gonna be no property manager, landlord, squatter, watcher, nothing like that. I don't want to go down to the police and try to get you evicted and nothing. So yeah, exactly. Sometimes friendly. Somebody wanted to rent a room. You said no thanks. I'm the same way. Okay, because you might get a little extra money, but is it worth it? And how long will you get that money? Now, somebody said it right there. It's kind of dangerous in a situation because you have an unruly tenant, a person that should be gone but is refusing to leave, and a landlord in the same house living there. So at a certain point, something's got to give. Somebody got to go. And if I'm a landlord, I will have to go because I don't want her to accuse me of trying to do something to her. You see what I'm saying? But that's just a lesson learned. Don't get involved in nothing like that. Don't put yourself out there to potentially be taken advantage of. Yeah, don't do it. So yeah, a locksmith on speed dial. That's a good question. That is a good. I mean, not a good question, but a good point. Get a locksmith to change the locks in the doors. And I think in some states you can't necessarily do things to make them uncomfortable. For instance, if you are a landlord and the tenant is still within their rights to be there, if you cut off water and stuff like that, that could be considered torture. You could go to jail for that potentially or be held civilly liable, again, depending upon the laws in your state, because they have rights as a tenant. The eviction moratorium was crazy because during that time, people were just quiet and they didn't really care. Like I saw I played one video for you guys a while back. It might have been a year or two ago. I played a video. You guys might remember, but I played a video of this woman, again, another black woman. And it in this case, it was two black women, the black female who owned the home and the black female squatter. It was the same thing in the other video I showed. Black female owner of the house, black female squatter, black on black crime, right? But the white man's to blame anyway. So the owner had a house where the woman was renting and she was refusing to pay. I'm not sure if it was during the scandemic or what, but she was refusing to pay. It was a pain to get her evicted, probably because of the scandemic happened right at the same time. It was a pain to get her evicted. Courts are closed. They're not really trying to put anybody out, all kind of stuff. And, they do these things, the eviction moratorium, all kind of, they do these things and they think they're doing the right thing by, people that don't have anywhere to go, they don't have any money, all this, that, and the third. But what ends up happening is people take advantage of it. People that have money. The one situation I'm talking about that I played before, the tenant had a job throughout the entire situation, had a nice big Benz outside, black on black, real nice. That didn't get repossessed. That didn't get sold. That never went anywhere. Not only was there a person who was the actual tenant working, had money, you also had 5 other adults in the house. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm thinking it can't be that hard to rent a townhouse with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 adults in one home. 5 adults? I mean, come on. That's like 2.5 families. That's 2 mom and dads and then maybe like a grown son or something like that. And you had kids in there too. So I don't really get it. Somebody 15-year-old can go cut hair and get tips at a barbershop and contribute to the household. They refused to pay because they didn't want to pay. They wanted to go on vacation. They wanted to buy all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, Jake, you remember, you were there, Jake. I'm Jake. The video I played, the person had Gucci purses. And mind you, the person got evicted and they abandoned all their property for the most part in the house. Okay. They had Gucci purses, Michael Kors, shoes, all kind of luxury items on the floor, like trash, but yet they couldn't pay the landlord the rent. I mean, how much could the rent have been? They were in Virginia somewhere, North Carolina. It wasn't like you like in San Francisco and some $1 million home. You're like in a regular townhouse in the basic neighborhood. It wasn't that much for the rent, but you got money to burn. Basically, you have luxury items with the tags still on it on the floor. On the floor. Oh, a bug bomb ain't gonna do nothing. A bug bomb in one of these houses where it's been abandoned, you got all kind of stuff in there, that ain't gonna do nothing. You might as well tear the whole thing down. You might have put a little tent, the little circus tent on the outside and do it that way, because them roaches in that kind of nasty environment are going to be super shredder roaches. You're talking about mutant roaches, cartoon roaches in that jank. Big flying, you're talking about human-sized roaches in there. You don't want that. Well, I mean, it could have been stolen, but the stuff still had the tags on it. It was like you could tell that the person that went shopping, you got shopping bags in there with merchandise that still had the tags on it. And they had a big bins outside too. The people had money. They just didn't want to pay the rent. And a lot of that was going on during the scamdemic. People just refused to pay the rent. They did not take advantage of the program appropriately, which is so predictable. Just like what was going on during the stimulus stuff. Oh my goodness. The stimulus was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But it's predictable though. People, they went and spent their money on the most ridiculous things. People went and just got fat. If you were skinny before the pandemic, and you never had money before, you kind of, just don't really know what to do. You took that money you got for all your kids. You got 18 kids, 500 baby daddies. You took all that money you got for that and you ate it. You literally just took the money and ate it. You going to restaurants you've been before. You going traveling. You eating all kind of stuff. You going to Walmart and filling your cart with everything. Nothing of substance. You skip right past the produce section. I don't want that nasty stuff, that greens. I don't want that. You going straight to the cookies and pies and the cakes and all that kind of stuff. All the honey buns that money can buy. You done went from a solid 175 to 300. You done almost doubled your mass because of all the money you got from the pandemic. Meanwhile, you got student loans. Oh, we ain't worried about that. Car payment. Oh, we ain't worried about that. Rent. Oh, we ain't worried about that. We got the moratorium. We're going to eat. That's what happened. People that are kind of struggling right now, a lot of them got a lot of money during the pandemic and wasted it. And they could have used that for something else. Getting a new skill, going to a new place, something. But they did not understand how to use it. And people that advocate for these things, for the stimulus and whatnot, they think that everyone is like a super genius, 5,000 IQ, and they're going to take that money and become Elon Musk. That's just not how it's going to happen. They're going to take that money and typically waste it. Some people are going to take that money and do things that are productive with the money. But for the most part, they're going to waste it. They might as well take the money and burn it. Because if you're just eating it or going straight to the mall and buying clothes, like I said, the person had clothes in that bando that I didn't show. I showed a while ago. The person had clothes they were brand new, expensive, on the ground with tags on it like it was trash. So what's the point in getting all that money, but you just going to throw it away anyway? But anyway, I digress. We got a few more topics on deck. Oh, speaking about throwing away money. So did you guys see Joe Biden ask this ridiculous question? Did you see this? Hold on. I did a video today on it, but did you see it? Let's zoom in a little bit here. So we all know that gas prices are very high. It's ridiculous. It's just way too much. It's unaffordable. People are having to pick between, like, they're having to figure out how they're going to get to work. Okay, because they can't make it. The gas, you're talking about an average of $5. If you go to California, you're talking about $6, $7, $8, $9, $10. It's crazy. A lot of money. The gas is so high, it's becoming prohibitive. That's just the reality of what's going on. And we know why the gas is rising. Biden wants to say, oh, it's the Putin gas hike. But do you know that before Putin invaded Ukraine, or not Putin, Russia invaded Ukraine, and then like Putin went in there himself with a horse and just went into Ukraine and invaded. It was a country of Russia, Russian Federation. Anyway, so Putin invades Ukraine. Russia invades Ukraine. But by that time, gas was up an average of $1.50 per gallon. At that point, it was already before Russia stepped foot in Ukraine officially. Gas was already up $1.50 per gallon. After Putin invaded, it went up by $1 on top of that. And the trajectory for gas before Putin and Russia, whatever, in Ukraine was already on the upswing. Why? Because there's a high demand for gas and you have lower production. You got Biden cutting off Keystone XL, which was a projection, 800,000 barrels a day. So you're going to have gas speculate on that particular price. But when that's gone, price is going to rise. Then you have him cutting off oil and gas leases that are already working here in the U.S. You're not granting more oil and gas leases. And the demand for gas is rising, rising, rising. You know, you watch television and they say things like, well, the production level of gas has not changed or it's increased or something. They'll try to say that there's not a decrease in production, but that's not necessarily true. They're telling you half the story. They're kind of gaslighting you a little bit. Even if gas productivity is slightly higher, it doesn't matter if there's a higher demand. You see, gas productivity is probably higher now than it was during the pandemic. That's because there was a lower demand because people were not traveling as much. They're not driving their cars as much. But now there's a higher demand. Everybody wants to get outside and go travel and go do things, and they're back to work and we're back open for business. So there's a higher demand. So your productivity must meet the demand, and we're not doing that because of cut production. And this guy want to talk about electric cars and things of that nature, just stupid stuff, right? Okay, my car has 200,000 miles on it. It's a 2010 Ford Bronco, whatever I got going on. I got the original OJ car. Okay, I got the OJ car. It's on its last leg. It's worth probably about $3,000 if I sold it. And I'm trying to put gas in that to go from point A to point B. How am I going to be able to afford an electric car? I have no car note. My car's only worth about $3,000. How much is an electric car going to cost me? I don't have that kind of money. I don't have any credit. What am I going to do? I got to put gas in my car. And that's the story of the average American. Cannot afford to buy a brand new car just randomly. I got my car now that I'm trying to hold on to. That's a lot of miles on it. And maybe I don't want an electric car. Maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want a muscle car. Maybe I want maybe I want a car that has 10 miles to the gallon. So what? I'm an American. It is what it is, but I'll move on. Let's see what Joe Biden asked. And this question kind of underlines his presidency right here. You're out of touch, because if you were in touch, you would know the answer before you asked the question.
So for all those Republicans in Congress criticizing me today for high gas prices in America, are you now saying we were wrong to support Ukraine? Are you saying we were wrong to stand up to Putin? Are you saying that we would rather have lower gas prices in America and Putin's iron fist in Europe? I don't believe that.
So he's asking, would you rather have the higher gas prices or Putin's iron fist ruling Europe? Like, basically, he's saying the gas is high because we helped Ukraine. That's our gift to Ukraine, having higher gas prices for the average everyday citizen. Now, if he wants to give them money himself, if he wants to just go to Ukraine and give money, then that's fine. That's his prerogative. But he doesn't really give. He takes from Ukraine. 10 for the big guy. But anyway, I digress. Burisma Holdings and the prosecutor, but I don't want to go down that road right now, the whole money laundering thing. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But if he wants to give his money to Ukraine, then go for it. But I don't think I signed up for that. So if he asked the question, let's run it back one more time so we get the full question.
So for all those Republicans in Congress criticizing me today for high gas prices in America, are you now saying we were wrong to support Ukraine?
Yes, we're wrong to support Ukraine. That's not our problem. That's Ukraine's problem. Now, I hope all the innocent men, women, and children, especially women and children, find safety and they're not hurt. But that's not our fight to fight. That's between Russia and Ukraine. It's very simple. It really ain't nothing else to it. So yes, we're wrong to be over there, not only interfering with that particular battle, we're also wrong for being over there using them as a money laundering hub. Joe Biden, you know what time it is with your son. Your son, listen, I got to come back for this. Joe, your son is a whole crackhead, like a legitimate, documented crackhead. We have him being discharged from the military for tested positive for cocaine. We have video of him, pictures of him smoking crack out of a crack pipe. We have him admitting on TV that he has a drug addiction past. You said your son has a problem with drugs. We all know that he's a dope fiend, a legitimate dope fiend. That's your son, Hunter Biden. But yet, with no experience in oil, gas, energy, anything, he's able to get a board role on Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian energy company, getting paid $50,000 per month to be on the board. Huh? And then on his laptop, there's emails between him and some of these sketchy countries talking about, oh, we need 10 for the big guy. Who's the big guy, huh? What big guy exists in Hunter Biden's life? Oh, Joe. Remember Burisma Holdings. Joe Biden went to Ukraine when he was the vice president under Barack Obama. He threatened Ukraine with withholding $1 billion in the loan guarantee from the U.S. if they didn't fire the prosecutor by the name of Victor Shokin. Victor Shokin was investigating Burisma Holdings. So if Shokin was able to investigate Burisma Holdings and take them down, Hunter has no more job and no more 10% for the big guy. So he was literally using his role as a vice president to ensure his son's job and allegedly to ensure his own 10% kickback. So you're wrong for being over there to begin with. You're wrong for being over there getting money, extracting it from them, laundering money, installing presidents, removing presidents. You're wrong for being over there doing that. You're wrong right now for engaging in a proxy war between Russia and Ukraine. Really, it's between the war is between Russia and Ukraine, but the proxy is Russia and the West. We want to fight Russia indirectly. So we're aiding and abetting Ukraine. We're giving them money and resources and weapons and whatnot so they can fight Russia. You see how that works? That's what's going on with that. Okay? So when they talk about Ukraine, it's less about their citizenry. It's about Russia. It's about Vladimir Putin. Well, if we care about Ukraine so much, why not talk about the Ukrainian people? It's not even about them. They're being used as a pawn. It's simple.
Are you saying we were wrong to stand up to Putin?
See what I'm saying? Like, it's about protecting Ukraine, or is it about Vladimir Putin? One actual person with the background in Ukraine. They're just using them as a pawn, as a pawn in the game.
Are you saying that we would rather have lower gas prices in America and Putin's iron fist in Europe?
Yes. And first of all, that's a false conclusion. That's your opinion, because Putin's iron fist in Europe, as far as I know, he's only invaded Ukraine. Now, could, should, if was a fifth, we all be drunk. If he goes and invades somewhere else, well, he didn't do that, did he? Not yet. He invaded Ukraine. Okay. And that was really it. And that's between him and Ukraine. He's not Adolf Hitler at this particular point. He's not trying to invade Poland or anywhere else that I know of. He's not trying to go marching to Germany. Why would he do that? Ukraine is a threat because they're trying to put NATO forces right there so they can bully Russia into doing whatever they want them to do. They want to take the Black Sea. It's a military thing against Russia. They're defending themselves. So now they're fighting Ukraine. Let them handle that. Let them handle it. Very simple. But yeah, I don't know if you go into the street and ask the average person, hey, do you want to have lower gas prices or do you want to stand with Ukraine? They're going to say lower gas prices. They would say if gas was to be lowered by 75 cents a gallon, would you want us to stop helping Ukraine? Yep, sure. Yep. If gas was to go back to the Trump prices, would you want to leave Ukraine? Yes, today. Today. And also about the Ukraine thing, before I move on, a big part of the reason why gas is so high is because we're refusing to import Russian energy, which is a big part of our whole thing. If we're not importing Russian energy and we're cutting our own production here with a very high demand, then what are you going to do? Have higher gas prices? And all it's going to do is make us as Americans suffer. I think even the Polish prime minister or the president or whatever admitted that was going on with his own people. Because remember, I think Poland, had cut off the Russian natural gas supply, but then realizes, hey, all it's doing is just hurting regular people with their gas-fired stoves. You know, that's all that it did. Hold on, I'm seeing something right here. It says Poland finds it's tough to go cold turkey on Russian energy. I mean, what are you going to do? What can you do? It's going to be difficult. I think Germany's going through that as well. Germany is trying to be all green and trying to support Greta Thunberg. Germany tried to do nuclear and wind and hydroelectric, but that's not going to support a grid. Germany gets real cold in the wintertime, super cold. You're very far up north. You're like in Canada, like in that type of atmosphere. It's cold. You know, not very sunny. It's cold. It's not like you're living in the Sunbelt U.S. You're living in a cold environment a lot of times. So you got to have that gas, man, that power up these homes to get some heat. So hydro and nuclear is not really working. So then they said, okay, let's go back to Russian gas. But now they got the whole Ukraine thing going on. So what's left? Coal. They're burning coal yet again. But I was told that Germany is like a poster child for green energy. I can't tell. Going back to coal, it is what it is. Now, I got a quick pivot right here. I have another video to show you guys. Somebody said something about it in the comments, so I kind of want to go this way. Now, there's a lot of woke stuff going on, and the woke stuff has kind of affected all life. I think people are so woke, they want to, quote unquote, support Ukraine, even if it means hurting themselves. They don't really care about the consequences. It's like, whatever, man. I'm going to just have my higher gas prices, not have the supplies I need. I'm trying to buy a new car or a used car. I can't because, you know, I want to stick it to Vladimir Putin. I want to hurt Putin so much that the things I do don't even affect him. But because I want to feel like I'm hurting him, I'll hurt myself. That's ridiculously crazy. I'm not hurting myself for nobody. Okay. I'm not going to hurt a hair on my chinny chin chin for near one of y'all or anybody else. And you shouldn't do it for me. Don't go hurt yourself because you want to support Anthony. That's not what you should be doing. Okay, take care of yourself and your loved ones. That should be your primary focus. But let's look at this here. So this is the Navy. This is a video from I saw this video and I kind of dismissed it. I was like, okay, yet another woke thing. But I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know it was about the Navy. So here's the caption from Robbie Starbuck. Robbie Starbuck says, this is the Navy's new training video for our service members to create a, quote, safe space by using preferred pronouns. These people have lost their minds. They won't stop until our troops ask enemies on the battlefield for their pronouns before they shoot. Crazy, ain't it?
Hi, my name is Johnny and I use he, him pronouns.
Hi, and I'm Kanchi and I use she, her pronouns.
And we're here to talk about pronouns.
What is a pronoun? A pronoun is how we identify ourselves apart from our name, and it's also how people refer to us in conversations.
Using the right pronouns is a really simple way to affirm someone's identity. It is a signal of acceptance.
Now the Navy. Shout to all my Navy veterans out there. My uncle was in the Navy 20 years and retired. But Navy, you guys know the reputation. The Navy. This ain't doing it, no help right here. This is not helping. Okay? This is like not helping at all.
And respect.
If it's a signal of acceptance and respect, how do we go about creating a safe space for everybody?
That's a good question. A really good way to do that is to use inclusive language. Instead of saying something like, hey guys, you can say, hey everyone, or
I mean, I thought the word guys was inclusive because when you say guys, you don't necessarily mean men when you say that. Like, hey guys, what's up guys? You don't necessarily mean men. You're talking about just people. You know, that's not always, these people, they're so soft. Anything that could be considered gender, they freak out about. That's why they say stuff like Latinx, which makes no sense because Spanish is a gendered language. Everything is gender in Spanish. You can't just change one word because it's offensive and ignore the entire language or try to change the language to make it fit your particular worldview. Okay, you're an English speaker trying to impose wokeness on a whole different language that does not fit your particular, your set of beliefs now.
Or hey team.
Yeah, and now that you say that, another way that we could show that we're allies and that we accept everybody is to maybe include our pronouns in our emails, or like we just did, introduce ourselves using our pronouns.
But what would I do if I misgender someone?
I think the first thing to recognize is that it's not the end of the world. You correct yourself and move on, or you accept the correction and move on. The most important thing I can tell you is do not put the burden of making you feel good about your mistake on the person that you just misgendered.
Oh, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, and another tip for you to remember their pronoun next time, it's in your mind. Kind of go through a progression of 3 good things about the person.
Why I gotta do all that, man? It's like, look, okay, I can see you. Like, at a certain point, we're all human beings, right? If you see me, I'm a big person. I'm 6'3", 215 pounds, right? If I'm walking up on you, you're gonna say, sir. You're not gonna just assume you're not gonna be like, hey man, what are your pronouns? You're not gonna do that. Why would you? Why would you do that? If I see Rihanna walking down the street, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I wonder what this person's pronouns are. Like, that's Rihanna. I know that's a woman all day, all women. You understand what I'm talking about? All women. Why play this game with people? And sometimes I've misgendered somebody because it might have looked, kind of bulldaggery. You got some women that got the little short haircuts and they kind of stocky built like Jerome Bettis, Edgerrin James. You know what I'm saying? They kind of built like Marshall Faulk, Ricky Williams, now known as, what's his name? Eric Myron. Different story. They kind of built stocky, got the little short haircut, maybe a little bit of goatee or something. I might say, excuse me, sir. I'm a girl. Oh, my fault. I'm sorry. And move on. Why has it got to be this whole big production when it comes to the whole pronoun thing? And I've seen a person that had a flow chart. I think it was a student that had a flow chart for their pronouns and whatnot. And it changed throughout the day. So some parts of the day, like in the morning, they felt like one particular set of pronouns. But then in the other part of the day, like at lunch, they felt differently. And by the time the school was ending, they felt differently. So you have to memorize different times of the day. So if I was to kind of buy into this stuff and I memorize your pronouns, but your pronouns change at 10 o'clock, I see you at like 9:59 and I call you by your first pronoun and your clock says something different. You're gonna get triggered because I called you the wrong thing at the wrong time. Why do all that? Okay, the best way, I get to know who you are. I learn your name. I call you by that. And if I don't know you, I call you by what you look like. And if you're upset, then look a different way. Tighten your appearance up. How about that? If you are a man and you look like kind of feminine, either embrace it or don't embrace it. And if you don't want to embrace it, change your appearance. Figure out something to do, man. We got all kind of stuff going on. Okay, I didn't see men get liposuction and all types of other enhancements. You can figure something out in 2022 to improve how you look so you don't get so offended and triggered. That should be how that goes. But I'll move right along. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. And speaking about men and women and weird stuff going on, Andrew Gillum. So Andrew Gillum was trying to become governor in 2018 against Ron DeSantis. Thank goodness he did not succeed. Thank goodness DeSantis won and became the governor. He is the best governor in the US of A. Oh, man, he's the best. Shout out to Ron DeSantis. Shout out to Florida. I think I like DeSantis. I like Bill Lee as well in Tennessee. A lot of you guys may not like Bill Lee, but I'm a fan of Bill Lee. I met him a few times. I met him when he was first running Him and his wife, they took an RV, went around the whole state, to every part of the state. Big cities, small towns, just really good people. So shout out to Bill Lee. I like him a lot. I vote for him again and again. Let's keep doing it. I like Brian Kemp as well. A lot of people don't like Brian Kemp, but people that don't like Brian Kemp, in my opinion, are not from Georgia. I live right here on the Georgia border, so I see all the Georgia commercials. Like I see Stacey Abrams, and I see all that kind of stuff from Georgia. I see all the political ads here because I'm right here on the line, because people that live in this area sometimes go to Georgia a lot back and forth. I do as well. I go to that Costco right there in Georgia all the time. But anyway, I like Brian Kemp. He's one of the best governors in the nation as well. Bill Lee, Brian Kemp, Ron DeSantis, good governors. Yep. But DeSantis is the best governor, in my humble opinion. And I'm glad that he won rather than the Democrat, the quote-unquote next Obama, Andrew Gillum. Now, Andrew Gillum had an image of family man, married to a woman, got kids, the whole 9 yards, right? That's the image. But in reality, he living on the down low. And if you don't know what that means, he's living a secret gay lifestyle. I don't care if somebody's gay personally. If they want to be gay, that's their business. But my thing is, don't pretend. Don't be a liar. All right? Don't be a liar. Whatever you are, just be that. But don't be a liar. Don't talk about, oh, well, I got family values. I'm married to a woman. I got kids, all this, that, and the third. But on the weekends, you shooting up meth, smoking meth, taking pills, and you in the hotel room with two white male escorts, and Gillum is black, of course. I'm blackity black, black out proud. Here you are with these two white dudes with all kind of drugs and stuff in the hotel room, right? So I'm not really trying to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing. And that hotel room was nasty. That hotel room was gross. I mean, what in the world? A crime scene, or y'all were just having too much fun? I can't tell the difference. It's one and the same to me. It was nasty. I can't even really put that on here because it'd get flagged right away. It was too much. But anyway, so that got exposed after the election, like the next year. I think the election was 2018. The inauguration for DeSantis was 2019, and then 2020, like a year later after the inauguration, that's when he got exposed for the stuff in the hotel room. So that was a bullet dodge right there. Now, some said, well, so what? That's his private life. But see, that points toward dishonesty. If you lie about something like that, if you hide something like that, living a double life, you're going to do that with other things. These big, crazy lies like that you keep behind closed doors, you're going to have other big, crazy lies as well. And what do we have here? 21 felony counts for fraud going back to the 2018 campaign. There's a lot of lies going on here, Gillum. There's a lot of lies. You're coming off as the quote-unquote next Obama, articulate, well-spoken, wife, kids, clean cut, no problems. Meanwhile, you're going out the back door, no pun intended, but you're doing some things with some guys in the hotel room. You got drugs and all types of other stuff going on, and you're stealing money from the campaign. So the whole thing was this. Apparently him and some lady, I'm not sure who she was, an accountant, a friend, or a family member, I don't know. Him and some lady had this whole scheme where they would divert payments from the campaign to Gillum just to use for whatever he wanted to do. If he wanted to go pay off his cars, take care of his kids, his wife, take care of the boys in the hotel room, procure methamphetamines, pills, whatever he wanted, he was doing that with the money. Okay, allegedly, 21 counts. And he put out a statement talking about, oh, these are untrue allegations and it's a political thing. It's like a witch hunt. But the problem is the federales are on this. The DOJ is on this. Biden's DOJ. Biden administration then put him on these charges. So it's not like Trump's in office. You can't blame Trump. You can't blame Trump's Department of Justice. It's the Biden Department of Justice that have come after him with these charges. 21 felony counts. If he's convicted, oh, he's done. He's done. Okay? And I think the fact that they put him out here like this and they charged him, he will go to the penitentiary. They probably caught him red-handed. I think he was talking to some federales while he was doing the whole campaign money siphoning thing. Now, I will say this. Oh, you're right about that, Apu. The grift is on the left, for sure. Now, I get accused of trying to be a grifter. They say, oh, ABL, you just trying to be a grifter for the right. I'm just being myself. Anybody that know me know this is just me, period. I'm not being nothing else. But if you're trying to be a grifter, if you're trying to get money, it's on the left. Oh, my goodness. But back to what I was saying. I think people do this a lot as far as taking money from their campaign and using it for their own purposes. But what Gillum failed to do was to get a good person in his corner that could help him commit crime. Now, I'm not trying to say he should commit crime or do things that are unethical, which is what that would be if he did something like Maxine Waters or Ilhan Omar. It'd be unethical, but it wouldn't be illegal. And it's a difference. You see, what Maxine Waters does is she takes her campaign money and pays her daughter a lot of money to do like flyers and campaign ads. Pays her way too much money. Okay. Now, why pay her so much money? To support her lifestyle. And it might be, a 10% kickback to mama. Mama call you and say, hey, you know what? I need this and the third. You got the money because I gave you the money from the campaign. I'm paying you way over the price for your signs. You got the money in your account. If you give me what I need when I need it, I give you more than what you need all the time. Same thing with Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar went about it a little bit differently. Ilhan Omar got married to her one of her vendors, if I'm not mistaken, Tim Minette. So remember, Ilhan Omar was married once legally to a guy that could be your brother for, to get him over to the United States from UK. Then she had an Islamic marriage to her actual husband, 20-something years. They got grown kids and everything else, right? She divorces the brother, alleged brother. She leaves the actual husband, and then she gets legally married to Tim Minette, the white guy, right? This guy was one of her vendors. He gets 70% of her campaign money. Why do you need so much of her campaign money? What do you do? Are you like do you do everything? Can you create banners, signs, speeches? Are you her driver, the dry clean person, the maid? You must do all the things at once. No, I think what's going on is she's taking all that money, giving it to him, and they're married. So if he spends it on her, if he spends it on the household, if he gives it to her, then it's not illegal. Is it unethical? Yes, 100%. But is it illegal? No, it's not. See, Andrew Gillum did not get the proper education about what's going on with the whole situation. He went about it in a really kind of sloppy and silly way. So if you want to be unethical, go about it how the old school guys in the Democratic Party and in politics in general, go about it how they do it. Don't do it your own way, getting some random person on the street to hem you up like that. But again, he doesn't want to come out and do things like that because he's unethical. He's a liar. He has a whole double life or triple life. That's what's going on with Andrew Gillum. But again, you guys in Florida dodged a bullet. I'm glad he ain't the governor, because that would have been a total disaster with Andrew Gillum. Can you imagine Gillum being the governor? First of all, a Democrat right there would be bad, but he can't even manage his own life. So if his life is in shambles like this, how can he manage the whole state? He would have got recalled. He would have been Gavin Newsom, and he probably would have been recalled successfully, not just recalled where they have the actual race and it doesn't go anywhere, but recalled to where he is removed and replaced. That's what I feel. So yeah, again, shout out to Ron DeSantis for succeeding and becoming probably the most popular political person in the country and one of the top people in the world when you're talking about popularity in politics. So shout out to him for sure. That's right. Sometimes the whole country dodged a bullet on that one. The whole US of A dodged a big bullet. Now, let's talk about the trans swimmer ban. So Fina, which is the International Swimming Federation, if I'm not mistaken, it's a French acronym. So Federation or whatever goes first. But anyway, Fina banned all trans athletes. Well, most trans athletes. I'll talk about that. They banned most trans athletes from competing, period. And they have the ability to control the Olympics as far as water sports, like, you understand what I'm saying? Aquatic sports. I put it to you that way. It's a kid show. So swimming, water polo, diving, they control those aquatic sports. For the Olympics and also for world competition, they cannot control the NCAA though. So, for example, Leah Thomas, the UPenn swimmer, this big 6'4", Bret the Hitman Hart / Michael Phelps looking character, this person was competing in the NCAA as a man for 3 years, and then became a quote unquote woman at the end of the time they were there. So it was 1 year as a woman, shattering records, breaking records, dominating, and then graduated. Now, at the end of the season, they asked Leah Thomas, hey, what are you going to do now? What's next? Oh, the Olympics. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Leah Thomas cannot go to the Olympics and try to compete against women. Now, if, quote unquote, Leah wants to become a man again and compete there, then okay. If you make the cut, if you're good enough, you could compete there. But I doubt it's going to happen because, first of all, Leah didn't took hormones and whatnot. The body's a little bit different. You still got these big, crazy Ryan Reynolds Deadpool looking hands. You still got these Paul Bunyan lumberjack hands and these big, crazy boats for feet, right? How you going to have boats for feet and be a swimmer? That's a disadvantage, right? You'll hold dolphin in the water compared to these little baby seals. But anyway, so in the NCAA, they competed 3 years as a man, 1 year as a woman, breaking records. When they go to the Olympics, that ain't going to happen. Nope. And the ruling was specifically for transgender women competing against normal, regular women. Not for trans men competing against regular men. Because that never happens. You never see a trans man compete against men, ever. Why? There's no advantage. If you're born a woman, like I've seen trans men before. I saw a trans man when I was at Jubilee, when I recorded for them a couple years ago. And people said that, like, if you see the person on television, they may appear to be a man, maybe, because you got on dude clothes and you got a beard and stuff like that. But you could tell it's not a man in person. The person's like 5'1". The body was still like a woman. Even with the dude clothes on, I was able to see this is like somebody's little sister. You understand what I'm saying? You never see them compete against men because they have no advantage. There's nothing they could do. Their strength, the speed, all of that, they can't compete against men. So the rule is specifically for transgender women competing against women, because it's like you got Leah Thomas, again, 6'4", Michael Phelps, Bret the Hitman Hart competing against these little 5'2", 5'3" girls. It's not right. You have a higher lung capacity. Your arms are crazy long. You got upper body strength out the world, lower body strength. You got all of that. These big, crazy knees and feet. It ain't right, man. It's just not right. So I'm glad they did that. But people are talking about it's the wrong thing to do. Trans women are women. Come on, man. Like, when are we going to stop? People that say you got to believe in the science when it comes to climate change and wearing masks. Like, they got it all backwards. They believe in quote unquote science when there is none. Like the mask thing. If you could smell farts, if you could smell anything through that mask, it's not going to work. The fart particle is much bigger than the cooties particle, right? So if you have a mask on, it's not doing anything for you as far as any kind of virus protection. It's not helping you. It makes you feel good. It's like a placebo effect, perhaps, but it's not helping you. Okay, so it's like, what are we even doing? It's weird. Feminism doesn't even, it's weird because you have the LGBT crowd, they kind of silence feminism when appropriate. I feel like feminism is a branch of the LGBT cabal. So whenever there's an issue that impacts women, but it also will impact LGBT, the LGBT take precedent over the women. That's how that works, in my humble opinion. And they're trying to take over the black issues as well. I'm seeing that a lot with the whole LGBT. It's like LGBT is trying to take over for all the quote unquote others, for all the other groups. If you're not a straight white male or a straight white female, then you're under the LGBT banner. But I don't know about y'all, but I don't appreciate being put up under the LGBT banner. I mean, I'm not gay. If somebody's gay, that's their business, but I'm not. So why am I put up under the LGBT banner? How about you just leave me out of it? Leave me, like, you go over there with that, I'll stay over here with mine. That's just what that is. Okay, that's just exactly what that is. All right. Yeah, masks don't stop anything. Masks ain't stopping nothing. Masks are just, it's at a certain point, it's just a facial decoration. They even said that on, they said that on CNN and all places in the world. It's a facial decoration. It's just go like that. It'd probably be better just going like this. The dumbest thing in the world. The whole mask thing, that was the dumbest point in U.S. history. In recent U.S., that's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. In the past, I say 15, 20 years. And the kind of mask people, I've seen birthday hats, little pointed dunce hats for masks. I saw everything. When I was in the airport in L.A., leaving the Jubilee set, I saw everything because that was right when the virus started. I was seeing bandanas, T-shirts, paper towels, plates, whatever they could find on their face. They would just put whatever they wanted to put on their face because they're so afraid. They're scared. Yep. They're so scared. That's crazy, Dejanay. You still got to wear a mask in certain places. Why? If I see that, if I go somewhere, especially here where I live in the South, if I go somewhere and see that, I'm instantly leaving. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I don't want whatever you got that much. Them dry chicken biscuits ain't really going to help. I don't want your dry Atlanta brunch food that much. I'm going to go over there. And the thing is, with the restaurants, that's the dumbest thing. You put on the mask to go into the restaurant and take it off when you sit down. Why? And you're going to eat, and you got all kind of spit and smuts flying around all over the place. If you could see yourself eating like an infrared camera or something where you could catch like the little particles coming out, it'll gross you out. You got all that on your face and your hands, everywhere else. But when you come into the spot, you got to put a mask on. Why? It's so silly. The dumbest thing in the world. But I got a few more things on deck I want to get to, and then I'll get to the other thing. Oh, but yeah, but back to the trans ban right quick. So I'm glad they did this because it's just right. If you want to have fairness in sports, in women's sports, leave men out of it. Leave men out of it. That's the whole point of having women's sports, is to have women be on the same competitive level with other women, with other XX women. It's so simple. Why is it being made so difficult to understand? It's not difficult to really understand this. It's really quite easy. Men compete against men and the other way around, women against women. Okay, hold on right quick. I have another video I want to show you guys. Hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. Now, check this out. Look at this right here. Look at He-Man. Look at He-Man talking crazy. Look at this, man. Come on. Stop. Like, before I even play the video, you can see what's going on. So, this from Australia. The caption says, Rugby League has made a ruling to ban transgender athletes from competing in international events just days after they're banned from swimming. In 2017, Dr. Lisa Watson, a specialist in transgender health issues, spoke for 60 minutes over the decision to ban AFL player at Hannah Mounsey. Do you see He-Man, Master of the Universe, right here? Look at this, man. If you don't Conan the Barbarian looking, I'm getting triggered.
Do you accept the AFL's argument that you do have a size advantage over some of your opponents?
I think the biggest issue is not necessarily that I'm too big or too strong now. It's more, okay, you're already big, you're already strong, whatever.
I mean, come on. Like, if I saw this person in the bar getting belligerent, I'm ready to have to fight for my life. You understand? And now I'm 6'3", 215. This cat right here is big. He's bigger than me, and he's competing against women in rugby. Hold on, I have footage of this person. I have footage. You got to see it. You got to see Conan the Barbarian in action. You got to see Fred Flintstone's little cousin in action. Hold on, right quick. You have to see this. Matter of fact, I got some pictures. It's like I saw these pictures. I was like, no way, this is real. This can't be real. But no, yes, it is real. Hold on. All right, I got that picture, but then let me get another picture right quick. All right, there's one right there. Let's do that. And I'm gonna search some more. Rugby highlights, Hannah Mountsie. All right. Okay, I can't really find a lot of video. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. But I have photos right quick. I got 2 pictures. Just right quick. Look at this. So you see the person right there in the front, okay, with these big tree trunk legs, and they're running. What can a woman do right there to stop this person? What can they do? Look at this. This is nuts, man. This is nuts. And then also, watch this. Okay, next picture. Come on, man. It's like somebody's dad playing with their daughters, man. Somebody's dad playing with their daughters. I mean, these are all grown adults here. Look at the size difference, Hannah. Hannah. Come on, man. Like, this is silly. This is silly, man. And these guys, and for the YouTube censors out there, guys can be used as a unisex word. These guys compete against these women, and they have this straight face in their interviews when they go on television. Straight face, like ain't nothing going on. Look at this.
But what if you were to get into that elite training environment and they were to build you up, put on an extra 15 kilos, and you just push everyone aside? But physiologically, that's just not...
Look at your neck, though, cuz. Iron Mike Tyson. You train like this. you train like Iron Mike Tyson. Hold on, I got to find a Mike Tyson clip right quick, too.
Going to happen.
The people who seem to have the biggest problem with this is male administrators, but the female competitors haven't raised their voices at all.
Lisa Watson knows better than most what Hannah's going through. She's a doctor who specialises in transgender health issues and is also a transgender athlete.
That's you right there, sir. That's you right there.
After 2
years
years of hormone replacement therapy, she says Hannah's body has no residual benefits from her time as a male.
Prior to her transitioning, she had a V8 motor powering this big muscle frame. Now she's transitioned and her testosterone level has dropped and her muscle mass has decreased and her strength and stamina has decreased. She's now got a little 4-cylinder engine, so she's actually at a physical disadvantage.
Man, if you don't stop, come on. Please stop. He had an 8-cylinder, now he's a 4-cylinder.
Dr. Watson suspects...
Look at this. Big crazy shoulders. You got a 50-inch shoulder and a 34-inch waist. I'm done. I'm finished with that particular story right there. That's just nuts, man. I mean, come on. Why entertain that? Why entertain that? You still the size of a Dodge Challenger right now, competing against Ford Fiestas. Just stop playing games, right? I don't care if you got that 4-banger in there or that fully 8-cylinder. That thing is still gonna squash some little cars out there. Yes, she did just say that. Yes, she did just say that. And they're dead serious. Experts. No smile on their face. Dead serious. So shout out to Fina for doing that. And shout out to the Rugby League for banning. Because that's just, I mean, come on, man. This is dumb. We can't act like that's not going on. I don't care if you happen to identify as whatever you want to identify. Iron Mike Tyson should not be able to be out there beating up on little girls. Point blank, period. Yo, if I saw that cat in the bar and he's drinking, he's getting aggressive, and he wants to fight me, I'm in for the fight of my life. The fight of my life. I might have to get a weapon. I might have to get a bar stool and hit him with that. Just psh. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And we got super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those right quick. Thank you to Apu for a few super chats here, who says, Romney, Graham, Murkowski, Collins, Cornyn, traitors. So, yeah, you had all these Republicans that voted for the gun control, the dumbest thing in the world. I don't understand. It's so dumb because gun control measures won't help. Gun control just impacts law-abiding citizens. But the problem was with people that break the law, not people that follow the law. Why pass laws for people that don't break them? It makes no sense. Apple also said, let me see, will there still be a red wave after Rhino Trader? That's a good question. I think there still will be, because what's the alternative, right? Also, first gun control, next immigration, Rhino betrayal. Apple also says, put Colbert 7 in DC jail in solitary like MAGA J6. There you go. Put him in jail. But you know they won't go to jail. And there won't be anything said about it during the January 6th, quote unquote, hearings, the sham hearings that they got going on, because it's all about a political thing against Donald Trump and conservatives. It's not even about the actual thing that happened. It's about just trying to attack us on something. They don't have anything else. I was watching Fox, and they had this Democrat guy on there, and they're asking him about the economy and inflation and whatnot, and how that's going to fare for them come midterm elections this year. And the guy was like, well, you know, people are going to watch January 6 hearings. It's like, sir, that's all you got. I asked you about the economy. I asked you about the gas prices. I asked you about things people see every day that affect them. J6 does not affect me every day, but those gas prices do. The inflation does. The housing market, rental market does. They have nothing else. So it's only going to be a political thing to try and attack us on the right, and that's it. They don't have anything else. Also, Apple says J6 inside job by Pelosi, McConnell, FBI, and Deep State. Also, 10% of Americans say they're watching January 6 hearings. That's a lot right there. 10% of Americans. 10% is probably less than that, for real. Ain't nobody watching that. That's just something that people don't really care about. Also, shout out to Jimmy Fallon mocking Biden's bike fall. Did he do it? Okay. Shout out to him for doing that. I didn't even see him do that. Very good. Also, ABL, scale from 1 to 10. How good are you typing? How good at typing am I? A 10. I'm a very good type. I could type very well. Apple also says, ABL, are you building any computers these days, gaming? Not a lot of time for that, actually. But if I had any friend that wanted me to build one for him or help him out, I'd do it. I still give advice. I'm still a consultant when it comes to things like that. Okay. If anybody wants to get some technology or whatever, I'll consult you on that. But I don't have time to really build a lot of computers nowadays. But it's easy still for me to do it. Also, am I going to travel this summer? Where in the USA? Oh, of course, I'll be traveling. Yeah. I'm not sure where I'm going to go, but I will be traveling. I got some things lined up that I can't talk about right now. I'll be traveling for those. I'm always in Georgia, so I'll be traveling. But hopefully when I travel, I can get a good flight. I just saw that you had, not you, but I saw that there was like a bunch of what's the name? Oh, a bunch of pilots that went on strike for Southwest because of the work conditions that were going on. Matter of fact, let's pull it up right quick. Yeah, so they say it was hundreds on these 1,300 actually. Hold on. If you go to some of these places, matter of fact, we got a video. Hold on, let's play that. That'd be better. So this is in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. So let's play this video right quick.
More than 1,000 Southwest Airlines pilots are on the picket line at Dallas Love Field trying to pressure the company. It's not expected to impact flights because these pilots were there on their day off. The pilots, who are members of the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association, have been working without a contract with the airline for 2 years, and they claim that they are understaffed and overworked.
So, yeah, if that's going on, I mean, am I going to be able to get a flight for a decent price? Am I going to get delayed at the airport? I ain't trying to be in Hartsfield-Jackson delayed, but you know the good thing about being in Hartsfield-Jackson, I could just drive back to the crib, but it ain't that far. You see, that's why I like having those direct flights, because the worst thing in the world is to have a connecting flight and to get delayed or canceled on a connecting, because you got to get back home. How you gonna get back home if you on a, okay, you fly from Nashville to Charlotte for connecting to New York and get stuck in Charlotte. Now you just kind of in purgatory. I hate that. But if I get stuck in ATL, just drive back home and it's fine. All right, but let's move on here. Thank you to Apple, who says, let me see. Do I prefer the beach or the mountains or the city? The mountains. I'm from Virginia Beach, so that's nothing. Going to the beach is like normal. I mean, it's, when I was out at the beach and family was coming from West Virginia or somewhere, they want to go straight to 17th Street to the ocean front. I'm like, okay, come on, get in my car, take y'all down there. But for me, it's like I was always at the beach. Wearing flip flops with no socks is like normal for us in Virginia. Not so much everywhere else, because we always go to the beach. You need flip flops with the sand because the sand is hot. I don't know. So I'm kind of like, the beach is kind of like blasé for me. I really enjoy the mountains. Being born in West Virginia in the mountains, I enjoy that. The city is cool too to visit, but it could be a little claustrophobic sometimes. So the mountains are much better. The mountain air is more scenic and it's not as common. So mountains all day long. Charles Turner Jr. says, ABL, what's your view on those 14 loser Republicans who voted to stab us in the back? Only 2 are up for election this year, Lisa Murkowski and Todd Young. I don't know why they did that. Maybe their constituents told them to, but I doubt that part because Mary Jo Capito from West Virginia did that too. It's like, why would you vote for the gun control bill in West Virginia? West Virginia, everybody has guns. I don't understand. It was so weird. But yeah, I think they all are a disgrace. All of them are a disgrace. That's my opinion about them. Farner Face says, Navy real woke, gender pronouns, and war. Shaking my head. Exactly. I mean, we're talking about combat. We're talking about defending the American people, defending the country. Why have the whole pronoun argument get brought into that? The Navy. Anyway, Apple says, ABL, you prefer ride share or regular normally taxi? Well, not ride share. I don't want to get in the car with somebody else when they, I don't want to do no Uber share. I want, Uber or Lyft for myself though, but not with nobody else in there except for the driver. Because taxis, I mean, I feel like it's easier for me to just do the Uber on my phone and everything else. It's just more convenient, in my humble opinion. Also, ABL, you like traveling by train, Amtrak? Why not? I've not been on a train, like a long train ever, I don't think. I've been on like the little short, like subway type trains, but not a long train, so I don't even really know. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but I like flying though. Flying is much faster. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not against it. Also, he says, last week, Colbert goons mocked J6 families at press conference. Absolutely no class. Tucker ripped Colbert a new one in last night's monologue. Also, Colbert is a talentless hack who actually cried because Trump didn't accept election. What a wimp. I love to see I love to see MAGA comedians heckle Colbert. Final Face says ABL, she will be known as a tenant at sufferance, holdover tenant. That is someone who would enter legally but stay after the lease was up. Also, wouldn't Biden's gas tax holiday put us even more debt than what we're in right now down the road? Just wondering. Yeah, because the problem is they're going to suspend the tax, lose the money they would get from the tax, but they won't stop spending what they were spending before. You see, if you're going to have the gas tax holiday, you got to stop spending too, but they don't do that. They just spend more and more and more and more and more. So they may try to get the money from somewhere else, raise taxes over there, or they may just print more money, which is going to cause more inflation. Final Faye also says, I remember when See the God was campaigning for Gillum and told people to vote for him. When that story photos came out, he was looking real salty. Exactly. You know, that was, again, a big bullet dodged. Final Faye also says, did you see Dwayne Wade's son on a Logo Channel's YouTube page talking about coming out being trans while wearing a weird looking dress? And judging from the sound of his voice, he's taking hormones. It's crazy. And my thing is, you shouldn't be able to do that to children. Leave kids alone. If you can't get a tattoo under the age of 18, why can you change your whole gender? I don't understand how that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I think people are just successful at being able to groom children for their own nefarious purposes, not because the kids actually want it. It's because the adults want it for their own purposes, not for the child. Holla Boy for Life 2002 says, our country and future is doomed with these woke rainbow alphabet mafia people in our military and teaching in our schools. It's kind of scary, really. I agree with you. It is scary. Fana Faye also says, if Lizzo and Stacey Abrams were to be dancing in the same room, it's a wrap for the Southeastern Coast. You're right about that one. F. Ranger Xbox says, the trans swimmer's nickname is the name of the whale Captain Ahab was chasing. Thank you to Kaya's Posthumous, who says, trans story time going down at the Fresno, California Zoo. That's nuts. Also, private, quote unquote, private LGBTQ family event at the Fresno, California Zoo, Shafi Zoo. Holla Boy for Life 2002 says, LMAO, Contrary and Barbarian, what the H is going on with the world? Crunchy D says, expecting 7,000 languages globally to update the existing definition of words, thieves, the same way they stole the rainbow from Christians. Correct. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says, is it wrong to say that we are making money that we don't have? Not, you're 100% correct. We don't have the money, so we're creating the money that we don't have. Paulo Escobar's Chanclas says, so tired of megacorps pandering to the ABC mafia with all the rainbow logos. Also, what does being black, brown have to do with the rainbow flag? Nothing at all. But again, they're trying to place all the other up under the LGBT umbrella. So if you happen to be gay, you're trans, whatever it is, you're under their umbrella. If you're not a straight white male or female, potentially, you're under the LGBT umbrella. If you are a straight white female and a feminist, you go up under the LGBT umbrella, because that's all right there as well, right? That's why the Bravo network has the Real Housewives shows. You see what I'm saying? What's that got to do with gay men or gays in general? If the women are married to men on the show, they're trying to put all of that up under the same umbrella. Anything that's quote unquote oppressed, you put it under the gay umbrella. That's kind of what's going on with that. And I resent that because they try to put being black or minority under that. That's why they put it on the flag. You see how that works? So they try to make you the equivalent to being homosexual when you're just a regular normie minding your business. Thank you to Prince of Cats, who says, ABL, I'm waiting for LeBron's book to come out, how he made $1 billion in the most racist country in the world. I've not seen any YouTube clips on him. I guess there might be more right there, but thank you for that. I appreciate you. Okay, but we got some, we got callers on deck now, and the number to call is 434-872-5228. 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description. And there's also a Skype email. If you want to get on through Skype, you could be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, talking about things that are kind of related to what we're talking about tonight. If Skype does not work right, please do not blame me. You know to blame the white man. It's not my fault. But let's go ahead and get into it. Again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. All right. See, Skype messing up. Oh, there we go. Okay, I thought Skype messing up. There we go. Here we are. You online speaker 773?
ABL. It's is there an echo or are you okay?
I think I'm okay. Do you hear an echo?
Right? All right, just double checking. ABL, it's your retired Chicago policeman friend.
All righty, what's going on?
I'm surprised I'm the first caller this week. Number one, if you just allowed these trans people to get what they want and have them be in sports, you would have all trans champions. That's what you would have. You in all the disciplines of swimming, in all the disciplines of track and field, you'd have the marathon won by a trans. You'd have the 100-yard dash won by a trans, and that would be proof that it's unfair. That would be proof that it's unfair. So to have trans compete with women is just unfair. Simple as that. Wanted to touch on something that was pretty much last week. I wasn't able to get in. The Alyssa Milano thing, where she went to that rally, the anti-gun rally, with 2 armed security guards. I think she should have a right to do that, to have armed security guards, because she's a celebrity, she's controversial, and her life might be in danger. But she has to understand you have a right to protect yourself too when you're at that gas station, which I know you never go to, a gas station at 2:00 in the morning that you don't know, but to protect yourself from criminals and the rest of us. So they don't understand that. That's the biggest hypocritical thing I've ever seen in my life. And then the last point I wanted to make, and the main point, is that AirBNB. That, AirBNB, a real AirBNB, takes a commission. They take 3% and then another, I think it's 12% for cleaning and all that. And they list you on their website. She didn't do that. All she did was she put, sublease. She said it herself and then brushed over it. She did a sublease. I've gone many times as a policeman to these, tenant landlord disputes. The landlord is not allowed to shut the lights off, shut the water off. As a matter of fact, when the police are called, and this is not just in Chicago, this is pretty standard nationwide. When the landlord shuts the lights or the water off or changes the locks, you go there, you have to ticket the landlord. He gets a court date. Really, it's a summons that needs his signature. It's kind of a shorthanded arrest and bond all in one ticket. If you refuse to sign, you'll be handcuffed and brought to the station. I know it sounds unfair, but the thing is, I explained to these landlords, you have exchanged your rights as an owner once you took money. You traded money, rent money, for your rights. The tenant has the rights, unfortunately. Just like most people don't own their house, the bank owns the house. They have a mortgage. A banker can't just come in, start walking through your house and doing all that and saying, hey, you're late on the rent. And you can't do that with a tenant. So unfortunately, and I think you're right that you don't want to be a landlord, unfortunately, when you exchange money to rent out your condo, rent out a room in your house or, an apartment, the tenant then has a certain amount of rights. You have to go through the eviction process. As a matter of fact, if I may finish, Nowadays, remember when people were finally evicted, the sheriff would put the people's things on the front lawn. They can no longer do that because their things were stolen and everything else. I know that that's their fault, but you as the landlord must make arrangements with the evicted tenant to safely safeguard their stuff. So usually, you board up or lock up the apartment and make arrangements for them to come and get their things. After 45 days or so, if they don't show up to get their stuff, then you can discard it. But on the day that they're evicted, if they still have a couch and a TV and their clothes in there and they're evicted, the sheriff escorts them out and explains to the landlord that you must safeguard their things for the next 45 days or 30 days or whatever it is. Which seems unfair, but that's what happens when you take money and exchange money for, renting out your place. Anyway, AB, I'll let you comment on that. And always a great show. I'm glad I got on. And, I was the first one today. So thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, great call. I mean, that's how it is with the, if you're going to be a landlord, you're going to have a tenant in your home. That's how it is. It could be difficult like that, depending upon the laws of your state, your city, whatever it is. That's just kind of what goes on. So if you're going to get into that world, you got to understand what you're getting into. Because if you don't understand what you're getting into, then it's going to be kind of rude awakening when reality strikes. When you call in the police saying, hey, get him out of here. It's like, nah, that's a tenant now. You got a tenant in your crib. So what are you really going to do? You kind of out back. You have limited recourse there because of the fact that you took money from that person. You're online speaker to 817.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you, ABL.
All right, you're on the line, so what's happening?
Yeah, my name is Jeremiah. I was calling to touch base when you talked about stimulus checks earlier.
Yeah.
I'm a server. I wait tables. And
Okay.
I worked at a really fancy, huge, giant indoor-outdoor mall. And pre-COVID, everything was like really good, regardless of race, creed, or color. But post-COVID, when you said stimulus checks, it's true. When the restaurants reopened, people went on unemployment too, and they also got an extra $600 a week.
That's right.
So the clientele changed from really good, don't care about race, to pajamas and flip-flops.
Yeah.
Like people that maybe would normally go to the food court, which is nothing wrong with the food court, I'll go there. But now they're going to a nice restaurant. They don't know how to tip. You know what I mean?
Of course, because they're not used to that kind of environment. All they know is that they have more money, so they can afford this place now. But they don't even understand the culture that goes behind it. Like if you go to a nice restaurant, you need to tip well. That's just part of it. And if you can't tip well, just stay in the food court. Like you said, nothing wrong with the food court, but stay over there. But they feel like they're entitled now because they have this free money. They could do whatever they want.
Exactly. I just wanted to touch base that not just the stimulus, it was really that extra $600 a week on unemployment.
Yeah.
It completely changed everything. And then towards the end, before I finally left, it's because now we started having shootings at the mall.
Wow. See, it's the same.
I said, I'm done. I put my notice in. I said, I'm out. This was last February.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base. That's all. And, I was a long-time listener. I'm a first-time caller. My name is Jeremiah. So.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, man. And I saw that as well at the airports. Okay, we started having these fights at TSA. It's like, come on, man. You're gonna fight at the airport? You might as well fight at the police station. Do you know where you are? But people that never flown before, they don't understand where they are. They don't really know. All they know is they got this extra money and unemployment, stimulus, all kind of stuff just raining down from the sky. They might get extra, like if you add it all up, they might get like a $10,000, $20,000 in extra money that they never had before. They probably never had that kind of money in their life, in their hands just at once to be able to spend on whatever they want to spend it on. So they're going to Miami, they're going wherever, fighting, just stuff they would do just in the hood at the local club, but it stays right there in the hood club. It doesn't really go anywhere else. Okay. Now, someone going to try to say it's a racist thing, but I've seen all races do that. I've seen black, white. When I go to Walmart first of the month, I'm seeing black folks, white folks, Hispanics, all of them with a cart full of junk. It's not even, it's more of a culture thing than anything else. But let me get to some more here. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
Oh, well, man, what's going on?
I took a break for a couple of weeks, just sit back and listen to the show, let other callers talk. But I got a couple of things I want to run by you, see what you think about it.
All righty.
The first one is, I think B. Tatum and you and other conservatives are handling the Juneteenth all wrong. I think it should be a great big, bring us all together holiday. And you want to know how we present it?
Okay, be careful, please, because I'm nervous.
Oh, no. It's all good. It's all good. It is the day of celebration when white Republicans armed with guns freed black people from the slavery of the Democratic Party.
There you go. We can roll with that. You definitely roll with that. And then see how the Democrats like that.
Well, they created the holiday, and I didn't have anything against it. I was just trying to think of, okay, how can we bring this to where everybody can get on board and enjoy it? Because, you know, Thomas Sowell, the history of slavery, you know, right there on YouTube. But it was bothering me, and that's what I came up with.
No doubt.
So, all right, on the media, on the news, I catch it once in a while on the radio because I haven't watched television news in like 14 years. I watch you, B. Tatum, Redacted, Thomas Sowell, Carol Swain, and China in Focus, China Unscripted. You know, that's where I get my news from, and WeOn. But they've been talking on the regular mainstream media about white replacement theory. Remember about a year ago when I called you in and told you that I thought that black people in America were being exterminated systematically and replaced with Latinos from Central America?
Yes.
They're starting to talk about replacement theory, but they put it as white replacement theory. So we're not going to pay attention to that because it's white replacement theory. And you know, every time a liberal says something, they're lying. So it just makes sense to me with the 70% of all abortions are in the black neighborhoods, double the homicides of gun crimes in Democrat-controlled cities, the reduction of education in the inner city schools on purpose out in California. We're going to lower the standards to make life better for minorities. How is making people dumber going to make them better?
It doesn't help.
No, sir, it doesn't. And like I said before, I don't care if my cardiologist performing surgery on my heart is a gay black man with a vibrating toy up his keister and a purple sequins gown. Thankfully, I'll be knocked out. But all I care about is he the best heart surgeon to be doing my surgery? That's all I care about. Everything else, that's his business. Ain't none of mine. But I want to close with the best analogy of school shooters and prevention I ever heard today on a YouTube short was by a man. He goes, yes, school shootings are horrific, and yes, it is murder, but it's also, and this is the part most people forget, it's also death by suicide, death by cop, suicide by cop mentality going into it, and it's planned out. So if most school shooters plan these events for a while ahead of time, So how you avoid that, or how you counteract that, is you can't give them a chance to plan. If you have a legal permit to carry and you're trained and continuously get training, and I'd even pay my tax money for this, teachers and administrators in the schools, unknown to anybody. Now you took out the knowledge of where the school guard is, where the metal detectors are. So you ruin the whole planning of the public suicide out. What do you think about that? He said it a lot better than I could, but
yeah, it's a lot there.
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's kind of hard to really pinpoint on how I want to. So it's it's interesting.
Yeah, well, what he said made sense because these school shooters, they plan it out. They know where the resource officer is. They know, but if you have administrators and teachers in there and they don't know who they are, they can't plan for that. And I don't know. I'd rather give a man or a woman a chance, and to survive rather than be a victim. And
that's right.
I'd like to close on this with the lung blowing out 9mm handgun thing that the president said. Remember that?
Yeah.
9mm blow your lung out. You know why he said that?
Why is that?
The number one demographic buying handguns right now is black women. And to all you black ladies out there, God bless you. Get trained, get trained, get trained. And I'll close with that, brother. You have a great night. Goodbye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Love your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you want to call in, 434-658. There it is, 434-658-1220. Okay, I had 304, but I guess I was a little bit too slow to the trigger. 304 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Jeff from West Virginia. How you doing, ABL?
Oh, it's all good, man. What's going on?
I just thought I'd call and talk a little bit tonight with everybody else calling and chatting and stuff. I was going to talk to you about this pronoun language and that Navy stuff. I'm going to explain this to you the best I can. Let's say you've just caught a nice fish, ABL, like a bass or a catfish, and you're going to fillet it out. And you get into your tackle box and you see a nice brand new sharp fillet knife, or you see a rusty one that's dull. Which one are you going to go for?
I'm going for the brand new one.
You're going for the sharp one. That's right. See, that's what our language is. Over 1,000 years, our ancestors have sharpened language. And that's why we have pronouns like he or her instead of all this beep, boop, bop stuff. And so I'm not going to lower my language standards to be able to talk to these people. That's simply how it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, we've mastered the language over a long time. It is the way it is for a particular reason. Let's not just change it because some people say that we should to fit them. That's not how it should work.
Well, it's literally, it just makes the language harder to understand, and that's specifically what they want. They want to confuse you when you're talking, and so don't stoop to that level, ladies and gentlemen. That's a person don't even want to talk to you. But anyways, everybody blaming these oil companies and things too for the high prices. I was going to say this: there's a lot of things that are going into that, and I could tell you this for sure. Say, if they did start ramping up production, it would be a month to 2 months before you started seeing prices lower at the pump. But the thing is, the reason they probably don't want to say up production like that is because we're coming out of all these lockdowns. And when we were locked down, there was so much less gas consumption. See, the thing is, they could raise production. But in 2 months, is there going to be a new strain of COVID-19 and a bunch of lockdowns, and they're sitting in with all this gas that is perishable and will expire. And so just saying no more lockdowns would help it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that kind of goes back to policy. It's like, let's not do any more lockdowns and let's go forward with this.
Commodity markets are nervous about ramping up production because they never know when a lockdown's coming or anything like that from our government. But And I'll get off here after I say this for you real quick. On this trans ban from the whoever it is, the Olympic Committee, listen to what Matt Walsh had to say about that, because you might change your mind, because he's talking about when he was reading over the rules, it was like 12 or under, and they have to start into puberty or they can't be a trans swimmer. The problem is, you've got people out there with a 5 and 6 year old son right now going, you know what, let's go ahead and get him on these hormone blockers and stuff for our personal goals and gains. And that's what worries me about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had the same idea, the same thought process in my mind, about the whole 12-year-old thing. It's like that appears to be kind of a goal for some of these parents, because they are trying to change their children at a young age. They're saying, oh, well, he was 3 years old and he said he was trans, and then I put him in the dress. See, like stuff like that right there should be nixed right away. That shouldn't even be legal to do something like that, to try and coerce your child to become a different gender.
No, here before too long, it's going to be when the child's born, we're going to have the parent picking the gender instead of the doctor medically telling you what it is. So it's getting ridiculous out there. But so anyways, I'll let you off here. I just wanted to call in and talk about those few things. Like I say, people, don't let them dumb down your language. And remember, these companies are suffering under the same problems we are, ladies and gentlemen. So try to have a good evening, and I hope y'all can make it through all this.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one, bud. Bye.
Yeah, man, this whole thing with the language, they're trying to change language to make it more suitable for them, and to try and change what you're saying, try and change what you mean. And that shouldn't be going on, but that's what we have. 707, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Dave Hall from Northern California.
All righty, what's going on?
Not much, man. I've been asking this question all over YouTube, and I just got to ask in person. I received my primary election voter information guide in California for the June 7th primary. And right on the cover, there's a cartoon of a drop box. It's signed and sealed, big old paragraph signed and sealed by the PhD Secretary of State of California. The left-hand paragraph says, every registered voter will receive a vote by mail ballot. Why does California need an in-person polling station or a drop box? If every registered voter receives a ballot in their mailbox, why wouldn't they just return to their mailbox? That is the question I have been asking for months. Not one answer in all the comment sections on YouTube, to all the conservatives I subscribe to. Not one answer.
Well, are they answering?
I was wondering if you could shed some light, man.
Well, are they answering it or not giving you a suitable answer?
No answer. None. Nobody can say the simplest thing like, you don't. You don't need a polling station or a drop box if every registered voter receives a vote by mail ballot. It's right in our face, Anthony.
Well, it's California. California going to do anything they can to try and cheat.
No.
Wait. Hold on. I got. Hold on. Wait. Just relax. I got to finish what I'm saying. It's California. They're going to do anything they can to try and cheat the system. They do anything they can. So if it goes to stuff in ballot boxes or whatever, that's why they have it. We know the answer to the question. Now the question is, what can you do about that in California? I'm not sure. It's California. We know that they do things that are really crazy over there beyond the voting, but that's one piece of it is the voting.
One piece of it? How many people in Congress are under Skeletor's thumb? McCarthy? Schiff? Maxine Waters? How many seats are under Pelosi's thumb from California. And they're not even there. You look at Marjorie Taylor Greene's speech on Forbes this afternoon. There is not one person in the seats behind her. It is not a Congress. Look up the definition of a Congress.
Nah, I mean, I hear you. I'm right there with you.
Dude, you know, we keep talking about a 22 red wave, right? But we haven't solved 2020. We haven't got to the bottom of what we know happened in 2020. And then the Secretary of State of California puts it right in your face. I mean, come on, man.
Well, here's a question I have for you. What could be done in California specifically to fix that situation? Because the way it is over there is not like that across the entire nation. So what could be done in California to fix that?
What can be done in Georgia? What could be done in
wait. It's not that way in Georgia. I live right here. We don't have that kind of stuff going on like the way it is in California. So my question to you is, my question to you is, what could be done in California to fix that? Where you have the mail-in ballots and the drop boxes, like what could be done to fix that?
I don't know. The Secretary of State signed it and sealed it that every registered voter will receive a vote by mail ballot. And then drop boxes open May 10th for a June 7th primary. In-person options available. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. If every single person on their list received an envelope in their mailbox, why wouldn't they simply return to their mailbox?
I mean, we know the answer. We know the answers to that. There's no sense in even asking. We know what's going on. The drop boxes are there because they want to keep all avenues open if they want to be able to do some funny business. We know what's going on. It's California. That's what they do. But thank you for the call, man. But
over the country in
it's not that way here where I live in Tennessee, Georgia.
All over the country.
It's not that, sir. It's not that way here. I'm trying to tell you, I live here. You don't live here. It's not that way here.
It's not that way in Tennessee.
Nah, or Georgia. I live on a line of Georgia and Tennessee, and I'm involved politically. I know people that are
Georgia. You have Rafflesburger.
But look, listen to me now. Listen. Caller. Look, you can't talk over me now. Caller, hey, quiet. Caller, quiet. Now I'm trying to be nice to you. I'm trying to keep you on, but you can't overtalk me. Now,
all right.
The reference. Okay, I'm gonna just. Okay, bye. I don't got no time for that. You can't overtalk you on my show. I just hang up on you. But the whole Rafflesburger thing, you got to get over that, man. Really, at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you what happened with Georgia. The reason why Georgia went the way it went is probably because we kind of got caught flat-footed with the whole universal mail-in ballot thing, and we underestimated what would happen. And then as far as the Senate, what happened with that is people came out and said, don't vote. If you're a conservative, I think even Trump said, don't vote. So a lot of people, they were calling me talking about why should I vote because they stole it. So then what happened was you had Warnock and Ossoff. Was it Ossoff that took it? Whoever was going, Warnock and the other guy, Ossoff or whoever it was, they were able to take the Senate seats because people said don't vote. I live right here. I'm right in Georgia. I'm like on the line of Georgia. I get Georgia's campaign ads on TV and Tennessee's ads. So I know what happened. That's what happened. Okay. Trump does not control everything. This is why Kemp destroyed Purdue, although Purdue was the Trump endorsement. Although Trump said that Kemp was the guy that didn't do what he should have been doing during the election. We know better here in Georgia. We won't be controlled by outside forces. Although I'm not necessarily technically in Georgia, I am because I live right on the line. So I identify as a Georgia resident and a Tennessee resident. I'm gonna get dual citizenship. So yeah, that's really what happened, man. Like people that don't live here, sometimes they get a different idea of what's going on. I think we got caught flat-footed with the universal mail-in ballots, and we didn't understand how to handle it. But now I think we're better suited to be able to deal with it in 2022 and in 2024. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. It's Cigar Box. Hope you're doing okay.
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Doing not too bad. I was looking at some pretty crappy things going on with the Juneteenth celebrations. Thought they were going to be a little more docile, but apparently not. And it just reminded me of the Pride celebrations that they've been having. I mean, they both had a whole bunch of dancing. They both had a whole bunch of food. The only difference is the way that they got shot in the face. Anyway, the thing that I see with Biden that really cheesed me off with what he said about the high gas prices was he said, like, what do you think about this? We should have done this for the Ukraine. But didn't you already give $40 billion to the Ukraine? Didn't you already give before that, I think it's $12 billion to the Ukraine? And now he's saying that you got to pony up all the money, that you're standing there at the gas pumps in disbelief.
Right, exactly. It's like, okay, well, why must I pay more at the pump if we already gave a bunch of our tax money to the tune of $40 billion or more to Ukraine? How much more do they need? Do they need all of our money, everything? For what? To lose to Russia?
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. And did he forget about the $40 billion?
I guess to them it doesn't make a difference how much money they give. They can give all the money in our coffers. They don't even really care. They don't see us as people that really matter. They're just worried about their own business, not us as people.
Yeah, because they're never going to feel it. They're not going to have to pay it. It doesn't matter anyhow to them.
Right.
I have an answer to the trans swimmer ban brought it out, but I think what they should do, and this is just for every single sport, is to get rid of men's and women's sports and define it by biology and say you have got to be biologically like this. You have to have this type of chromosome. You have to have, your body has to be made up this way. And divide it in half. And that way you don't have this, well, I'm identifying as a woman, even though, I got a schlong hanging down to my knees and stuff like that's ridiculous. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it should be simple. Just do like a test. Like, I think Bruce, aka Caitlyn, was on Fox talking about when he was in the Olympics as Bruce Jenner. They had they were doing tests to see if you were actually a male back then, because that was back during the days of the East German women, quote unquote. And Bruce said that back then he saw one of these so-called women outlift him in the back. It's like, okay, but see, back then they were doing mouth swabs to see if you were actually a male or a female. I mean, something like that, simple as that, just to make sure everything's above board, and just keep it that way. Just keep it simple. XX or XY. All the other stuff, it shouldn't even be put into the equation.
Yeah, because it's getting out of hand, and I just can't believe, just take the sports out of it, all the women themselves that are sticking up for this crap. Like, how can they be sticking up for this? And it's not even an issue with guys. So shouldn't that tell them something?
Right. Yeah, it should. But some women, they get it. But some, they still are kind of up under that spell of the LGBT, where they will put themselves last and put that community first.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for taking my call. It's been really nice. Talk to you later, Anthony.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to all the callers. You guys have been great tonight. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And the number to call, as always, is 434-658-1220. Again, Excuse me. 434-658-1220. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, what's up, man? Just a couple of things, man. The caller who called in about California and the poll voting and, getting mad at conservatives that he called that doesn't have an answer. You see, that's the problem I have. It's like, dude, man, like, were you under a rock? Do you not see how biased liberals are? Do you not see how unfair liberals treat conservatives? Like, do you seriously think there's going to be some fairness? So you're going to spend all your time just being angry about it. And that's what I'm saying, man. Some conservatives, they're going to be far behind because it's like they don't know what's going on around them. It's like they don't see the bias. They don't see the liberal takeover of the media, the liberal takeover of the education system. So then they just call in angry and asking you for an answer. Man, you know what it is. You got to get rid of all these crazy liberals out of California. That's it. There's no point crying about it. And asking, well, why the Republicans, they can't do nothing. Democrats run California. So you need to be asking these Democrats, stop. Why would you call on a conservative network or radio asking a question about a change? You need to go listen to one of these liberal networks, call them and then present that question to them. Like, it's just crazy. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, we can't be behind the ball when liberals are all unified. Liberals are all unified on this transgender thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what it is. I don't even think you have to change the sports names to men and women. We just need brave people to stand up and say, no, if you were born a man, you cannot compete in female sports, period. But the thing is people are afraid of cancel culture. That's what it is. And, liberals own a lot of these major businesses, a lot of these big corporations. I mean, you see liberal nonsense in all of our movies and all of our media outlets. So a lot of times, people are just afraid to speak up. But the thing is, man, with this transgender issue, man, this is, like I said, this is going to be the biggest war that women really have to stand up and fight. Because, I mean, it's only so much men can say. I mean, if men are saying one thing and then women are going back and saying, well, they should still compete, or they're women. The more women call trans women as if they are biological women, the more justification they allow this stuff to happen. And, women need to start calling out other women who are pro-trans women competing in the sports. But if they're sitting silent about it, it's going to happen because there is no pushback. Or maybe if the trans women come and compete with them, why don't all the women, natural born women, get together and don't compete? They did the same thing with Fallon Fox. When Fallon Fox was that trans woman MMA fighter who lied, who didn't even tell anyone she was a trans woman at first, beating up on a lot of women, and then finally came out and said that he transitioned. The women just stopped fighting. They just stopped taking fights, kicked him out. He couldn't get no work. That's what you have to do. But, if you're not going to do anything, it's just going to keep happening. And, man, the other thing is, with Joe Biden, man, like, for him to say something like that about the Americans are willing to put up with higher gas prices to stick with Ukraine. No, we won't. A lot of Americans don't even care about what's going on in Ukraine. They don't even, like I said, this is a country where many of us can't even name a city. Probably don't even know where it's located, don't even know the history, but yet okay with billions of dollars going there. Like, to me, that's almost like treasonous. Like, every congressman who voted for that needs to be voted out. But the thing I worry about is this, man, and this is serious, man. When Trump runs, if he runs, and let's say he does run on, not wanting to get involved in Ukraine, pulling out, and, I hope he boldly says, and we're going to remove the sanctions from Russia, because really, that's what's really hurting the world economy. You are trying to destroy world power economically. You just can't do it. But let's say Trump does do that. What I fear is a lot of these pro-war Republicans like Lindsey Graham, all these never Trumpers, and even Fox News is going to turn against them and start saying nonsense about him and, call him a coward and saying things like, we must stand up against the Russians. And, what I fear is that I hope Trump does not lighten his tone and back down from its position, because that is a pro-American position. The pro-American position is to mind our business, stop interfering in other countries. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be at war with Russia. This is one of the reasons why Trump won. But yeah, man, it's these rhinos that we're going to really have to start watching out for. And, you know, I hope, you know, come midterm that a lot of these rhinos get voted out. And if the majority of them don't get voted out, at least a lot of them get replaced by, you know, Trump, you know, people who kind of have our mindset. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And then just one last thing, man, you know, you know, I always bring this back to black people because, you know, black people are like the #1 Democrat Party posse, man. And it's just amazing to me that they sit here and they can listen to Joe Biden, especially seeing that black people are like on the lowest economic totem pole, say something like we're okay with higher prices just to defeat Russia, when it's just insane to me. I'm just like, how much longer are we going to get disrespected like this until we wake up? You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much all I want to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Very good call. Very, very good call. And thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Best audience and best callers anywhere. At any call-in show, at any place in the world, you guys are the best. So, yeah, that was fantastic. But if you want to call into the show, you know the number is right there, right below you. 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 318, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
It's ABL?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. I actually got through.
Yes, you're on live.
My name's William. I'm from Louisiana. How you doing, ABL?
Oh, it's all good, man. Can't complain.
You can hear me loud and clear?
Are you loud and clear?
Okay, what I wanted to talk about was the transgenders, such as Leah Thomas, or as isn't Leah Thomas, isn't his name William?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they got a biological, not biological, but a legal change. I'm not sure how that is going on, but that was the first thing that went by when they were on the swim team as a man competing. It was William Thomas.
Okay, the problem I have with that is basically you have all these biological men saying that they want to be women, and they go to these women's swim teams and they take other opportunities away from women, and a lot of women are standing for that. But really, William couldn't meet those men in the competition, so he had to go to the women to basically get a cheap way of winning those competitions.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly why the new rule they put out from the international competition, they said you can't have any transgender, quote unquote, women compete against biological women. They didn't say anything about trans, quote unquote, men competing against biological men, because there's no advantage for a woman trying to become a man competing against men, but there is an advantage of a biological man becoming a woman and competing against women. It's unfair, and it's a cheap way to go in there and get easy wins.
That's true. And have you been keeping up with Brittany Griner from the WNBA?
I've been watching that story a little bit, yes.
But basically, if I remember correctly, he was going, I think he was checking out of Russia, I think. I'm not sure, but I know they found a vape pen inside her luggage, and they basically detained her. And now the United States is saying that she's been wrongly detained. But my thing is, she's been going to Russia for years, playing ball over there. So she knew better. It's like people don't understand that when you go to different countries, that they have stricter laws over there, especially when it comes to drugs.
Right, exactly. I mean, it wasn't like this is her first time going. She knows the law, she knows the rules, and she simply just broke the law, broke the rule. So now you got to pay the consequence. It's not difficult to understand, but because Russia is involved with the whole Ukraine thing, she's being used as a political pawn. They say she was a political prisoner or a hostage. No, it's not a hostage. It's just like if you break the law over here in the States, you go to jail for the most part. It's the same thing over there. It's not different.
It's not, but I thank you for taking my call. It was nice talking to you. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw some clip on the news. They were talking to some Russian, like I'm not sure who it was, some kind of spokesperson. And then they were talking about they got the hostage team on it. It's like, she ain't no hostage. She's no hostage. She's just there because she broke the law. That's it. It didn't really ain't nothing else to it. Now, if Trump was in office, he probably could have negotiated her release. Although she did break the law, okay, let's go ahead and get her back over here to the States. But Biden's like, hey, man, you do the crime, do the time. How about that? 626, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Anthony Cerna from California. How you doing, man?
Oh, well, man, how about yourself?
Man, it's incredible to be here with you, man. I've been a subscriber for about a year now, and but I get the sense you've been doing this for a really long time. And so I was just curious, what are some things you've seen get better when it comes to political discourse, maybe some things that have gotten worse over the last couple of years?
I think that is less of a stigma. It's less of a taboo thing to be a minority conservative. Regardless whether you black, Hispanic, whatever it is, it's less of a taboo thing because so many of us have just come out and just been ourselves and we're not afraid to be who we are. We've done events. We've done a lot of different things just in the community, in the country, all over the country, that now it's more accepted. When I first came out and was conservative back in like 2015 is when I first started YouTube, it was much different. It wasn't a lot of guys like me on YouTube at all talking about being conservative. It wasn't that. And I was looking for guys like me back then. So I was just like, how about I just be that guy? And right around that time, right around Trump time is when a lot of us started to come out. Your Candace Owens, right around that time came out. Brandon Tatum, right around that time came out. And then we just started to multiply more and more and more. So it's less stigma behind that. However, people are more, they have a shorter attention span and also shorter patience. So when you have a political discourse with somebody that's different than you and they're kind of, they're not really open-minded, they're quicker to snap on you and be confrontational. So I think that's gotten worse. But people are more open-minded at the same time. It's weird. Those who are closed-minded are more closed-minded, but those who may be kind of on the fence are now more open-minded. So it's a double-edged sword, but I think overall it's much more positive than negative.
I dig that, man. I appreciate that. So, like, when you go about having conversations maybe around like a dinner table or something like that, since you've been talking to people for a long time, do you have any, I'm a Hispanic, I'm conservative, my parents are not. I'm just curious, man, do you have any tips for people like me who have family members or friends who you want to have these conversations with, but, you know, like you're saying, they're kind of closed off to the idea that they shut down a lot earlier, man. Do you have any tips for people like me?
Well, I mean, I get that question a lot. I always say, don't even really do it. At a dinner table, don't even really do it. But if you must, I don't like being so confrontational because I'm kind of passive on stuff like that. Because if I get to be aggressive, then it's like people want to try to fight me. I ain't trying to do all that. I'm not trying to get locked up. But what I do for myself, because me, like I say, either I'm going to be passive or I'm going to be very aggressive. Like I'm going to fight you. But what I do as a middle ground for myself is I just drop little hints. You know, I'll talk about the gas. That's my main thing I get them on. It's like, hey, man, them gas prices are crazy, man. And I say, you know what they said? They said that gas has risen an average of $2.50 since Biden got in office. I'll say stuff like that. I won't even try to argue with you. I'm going to try to just make it be a back and forth thing. I'll just say it in your presence. So you hear me. You hear what I'm saying, but I'm not talking at you. I'm not trying to debate you. I'm just making you hear my voice, because my voice is very distinct. You'll hear me say it in your mind, and you'll think about it at night. And I'm gonna do that a lot. I'll just drop little seeds in your mind, and your mind will water them and grow them, and hopefully that may turn into something that helps you go a different direction. But I don't try to just convince you right there, because if you're 40-something years old, liberal your whole life, my talking to you at that moment won't change you. It's got to be over a period of time you change.
I dig that, man. I appreciate the advice there. I think I'm going to take you up on that. And yeah, like I said, I've been watching for a little over a year, man. I want to thank you for the great content and just for being that voice out there.
Well, thank you for that, man. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
All right, take care, man. Have a good night.
All right, now, same to you. Yeah, man. I don't really try to change somebody's mind right away. It's a process, because even for me, it was a process. And I'm open-minded anyway. So if you're a closed-minded person, it's harder to get you to go a different direction. Very hard. And you kind of like older. If you're like 40, 50-something years old, closed-minded, but just drop little stuff here and there. I'll say stuff like that and just leave. My Facebook is great for that. You know, I'll just drop little things and I'll watch to see who likes it. You know, okay, my cousin right there liked it. Okay, I got you on that one. You like that? I'll do that. But I will never bring anything up. Now, if you ask me a question at the dinner table, maybe I'll engage if I feel like it makes sense. If the environment is cool and I'm not going to be bombarded, I may engage with you. But I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm not trying to talk at you or finger point. I'm going to just say just the reality of what's going on and leave it there. And if you want to take that and do something with it, then that's what it is. 914, you don't line. Who am I speaking to? 914, hello.
Hello. Hey, how's it going, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
I just wanted to get your opinion on the 2022 Senate projection for the election.
Okay, so, I mean, are you asking me, like, are you asking me who's going to win? I'm not sure what your question is.
Yeah, like, what do you think it's going to be looking like for the Republican Party?
Well, it'll look good for us overall, because the Democrats aren't offering anything. Just like I was talking about earlier, there was a guy, some Democrat spokesperson was on Fox, and they were asking them about midterms and what they can do to improve their outlook. And they talked about January 6th. It's like, you can't talk about January 6th as a policy platform for the Democratic Party. What do you guys bring to the table? What are you guys going to do better that you're not doing right now? The economy is trash. The inflation is trash. The gas prices, all these things are going poorly. You got all these shootings going on. You got a lot of understaffing, police, fire. Everything is it's not going very well. So how are you guys going to fix it? And I think the inability to solve that problem would mean that it's going to be beneficial for us to gain seats and or at least keep them. So I think it'd be very well for us in the midterms.
Okay, I got you. What do you think of, because, Trump, I would say Trump overall is a pretty solid candidate, going off of the 4 years. But I do find it kind of weird of how he would endorse someone like Oz for the Senate, because, Rhino Oz, he's like kind of weird. He said some weird things in the past. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. Like, why do you think Trump endorsed him?
I can't really tell. That's a good question. Maybe he likes Oz as a friend personally. Maybe he's talked to him and just likes him on a one-on-one level. I'm not really sure why he would endorse Oz, but clearly not necessarily the best candidate to endorse, in my opinion. But Trump has endorsed candidates that aren't really good throughout the race. I'm not saying that he's done that constantly, but I mean, look at Georgia. You see what happened with Georgia. He endorsed Purdue, and Purdue got stomped in the primary by Brian Kemp because people in Georgia like Brian Kemp. And that's just what it is. It doesn't really matter all the time what Trump thinks or what Trump says. He is influential, yes, but just because he says that this person is good does not mean that it's true, nor does it mean that the people that live in the area will agree with him. So I don't know. I think as far as Trump running, he could run, but I don't think it's going to be fair to ask him to do that in 2024 at 78 years old. I think we need to have a guy like DeSantis actually run. Although I like Trump, he did great for the country the time he was there. It's time to move on as far as like him being in office, in my opinion.
Nah, I feel you on instead of, the short term. And I think it would be nice to have someone like DeSantis up in that too. So, and I have one more question. What do you think about the governor elections that are coming up? Do you think like a state like, I live over here in New York. Do you think New York could flip red with Lee Zeldin or Andrew Giuliani, whoever is going to be the GOP?
That's a good question. I don't think so because of New York City. It could be. I'll tell you what, though. I think there will be more people that vote red than anything else, or it'll be more people that vote red than before, but it may not be enough to change it. It kind of reminds me of Virginia, not the actual outcome of Virginia, obviously, because Virginia flipped red, but I'm thinking about Northern Virginia. You see, Northern Virginia changed the outcome of Virginia, although it didn't necessarily change Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia is still blue. It's just more red than before, but still overall blue. That'll be how New York State looks, in my humble opinion. But it's possible for them to go the other direction. But I think New York City is just way too blue and has way too much influence over their entire state.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Thanks for taking my call, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Have a good night.
Yeah, I think New York City is just too big, too powerful, too influential. Not only NYC, but the New York City area. It's definitely a problem. All right, let's get to some more here. 601 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, ABL? It's Justice.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Man, just living in Mississippi dream. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm actually good. I just had one of my videos, and this isn't news related, but I just had one of my videos blow up. I just ripped one of my track videos. It's like at 10K views. I released it like middle of night last night, so like at 10K views, and it just blew up out of nowhere. I woke up, it was like at 8K. But besides that, everything's good. Just chilling right now at work. I haven't been watching you lately. I haven't been watching like all your videos because I have my own channel now. But I did want to talk about I have a question for you. When are you gonna start posting? And when I say start posting, I mean like maybe have a second channel of like how you call it, like celebrity or influential type topics. So like things that go on in the celebrity Hollywood world, like Hollywood news, basically. Do you think you would ever do that? So like news, but just of like high profile people like Michael B. Jordan, and
oh, you mean like you talking about like my man O'Shea Duke Jackson does with celebrity jump?
Yeah, yeah, basically.
I mean, I could do something like that. Now I do want to do a second channel, but I'm not quite sure that would be what I do. But I could do something like that. So I don't know. The second channel it may have some of that on there, but it may not be the focus. So that's a good question, though. I mean, you'll see that pretty soon. Like I do some of that here, but not so much. Just a little bit here and there.
Yeah, because you're getting to that size. Like I know a lot of people that I watch that are like you. They have like their main channel, and then they branch off once they hit like a certain amount of people, like 1 million subscribers, like you're about to. They'll have like a celebrity news channel, and then like just a little fun channel that they do that deal with like just comedy news or something like that. Like like besides being all serious, like comedic news, and then Hollywood news. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, definitely something like a change of pace, because politics is always something I'm interested in and whatnot, but I could do a lot more than that. So, yeah, you have a point.
Yeah. But besides that, hey, bro. So I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go federal, right? And when I saw those special agents, the secret agents, just circle around Joe Biden when he fell off his bike, I was like, I want to be that guy. I want to be those guys. I don't think I could be a security though, because I probably would have laughed. Somebody would have caught it on video.
And you know what? And then when it comes time for you to get confirmed, they're gonna pull this video up and say, "Oh, that's your voice pattern right there. You recognize who you are." Yeah, they're gonna, you know how they are with the background checks. They're dead serious.
Oh yeah, man. Joe Biden would not recognize me. He doesn't even know what he ate this morning.
Okay, he won't, but they will. They got them.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. His people will.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so, oh my gosh. So I forgot. So I'm going to. I probably shouldn't be saying this on like live, but I'll say this. I'm going to Atlanta. I'll say this. I'm going to Atlanta in a couple of weeks for my birthday. I've listened to your advice. I'm not saying where I stay because we're on live, but I picked the good part, and it wasn't Buckhead.
Okay, so did you go north or south?
North. I mean west, like northwest.
Okay, I know where you're at.
Starts with an S and ends with an A.
Yeah. Okay. Good area. Good area. That's a good choice.
Where the white man stays. But yeah, we're gonna have fun. I'm probably not gonna go to Lenox Mall. I've been there too many times. Like I said, I live like 5 hours away from Atlanta, so I've been there a couple of times. I've been there a few times, maybe 10 times. There's another mall up there by Buckhead, kind of like where Icebox is and stuff like that. There's another one up north Atlanta. I can't remember the name. I think it's like Moorhead Mall or something. I can't remember the name of the mall. You know what I'm talking about?
Perimeter.
It's the second biggest mall.
Perimeter Mall.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice little area. Nice little food spots out there too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really want to go to Lincoln, but I did want to go to a mall that had at least like, like PacSun and stuff like that. I didn't want to go to their trash malls.
Right now, I'm with you. Yeah, perimeter's cool. Yeah, just as long as you're not like in the city. You don't want to be on the east side, west side. Dodging bullets. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to the east side. There's I think it's called like the blue the blue it's kind of like the Blue Club, but they serve like breakfast and stuff like that. They have like a 4.5 rating, like for food wise and stuff. I want to go there. It's kind of like the Blue Nightclub.
All right. Well, at your own risk, go in the daytime. Don't go at night.
You're right. Well, that's all I got to say, man. But that's it. I will be in Tennessee in September. That's when I plan to go. So I will be getting a Jack in the Box. So we'll be ready for that because we don't have a Jack in the Box.
Okay.
Well, as I said, I'll see you later. All right, ABL.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, you too.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, Atlanta's it's a tricky animal. You want to go. People want to kind of be tourists and go to Edgewood and where they want to go to Bankhead. It's like, all right, go ahead, but bulletproof vest at all times, please. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, hey, it's Greg from Atlanta, sir. How are you? I've been trying to get through for about 10 minutes or more.
Well, I'm glad you're on, man. What's happening?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what's happening. Barbecue sandwiches hit $15 for a large beef brisket sandwich at my favorite barbecue place in Marietta, and large pork sandwiches hit $10.
Wow.
I walked out of there.
For a sandwich?
Yeah. Yes, sir. You cannot understand how much that pains a Southerner like myself.
I hear you, man.
I can't afford to get barbecue in my own part of the country. That sucks.
Right.
So, but our gas prices are $4.50 a gallon right now, and so we're holding out strong there for the time being. If I'm not mistaken, I think our gas prices are lowest in the country by now.
Yeah, that's pretty low because I'm seeing like I was watching the news today and they said in Tennessee it was like $4.40 something, and that was like a steal. Yeah.
I was up in Chendig around May 21st, and it was like $4.37 or $4.40 then.
Yeah,
at least. So it was higher than us by about 40 cents at the time. But hey, you're talking about earlier about dropping seeds and dropping hints with people and letting them know you're conservative, trying to make them think. I've been dropping hints for about 6-8 weeks now. When I go by Kroger, Publix, or in the local grocery stores here, I always like to take a stroll down the baby food aisle. So, and I sit and look at the baby formula and I laugh, not because I think it's funny, but because it's so pathetic how the Biden regime can't even feed her own babies. And so what I do is I carry around little receipts in my back pocket, and I write on there a little note saying Biden did this with an exclamation point, and I take it and I put it up there where the sticker where it says, "Sorry, we're out of this product for the time being," or whatever, and I let people know who's responsible for this. What do you think of that, man?
Yeah, the whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, I did it again today. You know, they had this long explanation about why they're out of this product. I found out today that we're getting actually baby formula from Mexico. So we sent all of our baby formula to Mexico for the last, 2 months now. And now we have to get some from not only Germany, but Mexico too. I mean, come on. Less than a year and a half ago, we never had these problems under Trump. The barbecue sandwiches were a lot cheaper then, man.
It's so many random little just weird problems. Like you had the big problems like gas, but then it's like, okay, I can't get a plastic straw. I can't get baby formula. Like, what's going on? It's just really weird.
I can't even get a good barbecue sandwich or a beef brisket sandwich without taking an arm and a leg.
Right.
Now that's a serious problem.
Exactly.
So, wow. What is your take? I mean, do you think we're going to win the elections and in the midterms? I'm really worried that they're going to cheat again, but they did in 2020.
We're going to win because it's too much. People are too upset about what's happening here with the gas. Like the regular normies that don't know politics, they don't know anything really about anything. All they know is that they had Trump in there. The gas was one price. They got Biden in there. Gas is a different price, and it's way too high. And everything else is high too. So it's like, okay, well, how about I go vote a different way? Even if it's not necessarily a big jump in the voting pattern, all we need is a small change to shift it, because a lot of these elections are pretty much neck and neck, 50-50. If you get a 2% change, that'll change the whole election across the country.
Yeah, and most of the Latinos are done with the Democrat Party. They've had it.
Oh, yeah, we saw that.
I think the final straw,
go ahead.
The final nail in the coffin for the Democrats was the gas prices, which is a domino effect, which causes all the food prices to go up. Not just that, but your razors and your shampoo and your laundry detergent and everything else you need to survive every day is going up.
Yeah, everything.
There's only so much people could take, you know. And I hate the way the Democrats always say, "Oh yeah, we're the party of the poor." No, they're not the party of the poor. They're the party of making people poor, because they're making poor people poorer. I'm tired of hearing about in the news how they always say, "Oh, you know, the middle class being hurt so bad." Well, the middle class are making up to $45,000 a year. The lower class are making, $25,000 or $30,000 a year after taxes. So they're the ones hurting way more than the middle class. They can't even afford to have a kid, let alone get married and buy another car. And they expect us to buy an electric car on something that costs, 4-5 times what a poor person makes in a year. It doesn't make any sense. They can't do that.
Right.
So anyway, that's all I want to say, man. Wish you well, and stay healthy, and we'll talk next Wednesday, I'm sure.
Right on, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, long live Trump. Screw Biden. Thank you.
Have
a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, yeah, shout out to my man, the good call. But yeah, like the elections, it don't take much to actually shift them. Small shift, small change. 773, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. First off, ABL, have you and Mrs. ever watched Matt Walsh's new documentary, What is a Woman? And after that question, get her definition of it?
I've not seen that yet.
Okay. All right, if you do please let us know what you think about it, and maybe get the Mrs. opinion on it, on the film, because despite what the left may think is pretty powerful, but they're too busy trying to discredit it, as we see right now with the man movement.
Right, yeah. That's definitely a thing that needs to be covered.
Yep. Speaking of that, ABL, have you ever kind of used this I love Lucy line when which your wife gets a little bit of a joke? Lucy, how many times did I have to tell you you can't perform the show tonight?
No, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, well, it kind of fits you sometimes you kind of think about it, about you on YouTube and she's behind the scenes.
No, ain't none of that going on.
Okay. Well, I wanted to know if you finally seen that Judge Joe Brown explanation of Juneteenth and why this federal holiday is entirely based off of a lie, especially trying to get black people, low information ones, to vote Democrat with no critical thinking, but just emotionalism.
Well, I've not seen what he said about it, but people are saying a lot of wrong things on both sides of it. Because I know about Juneteenth. A lot of people are just finding out about it right now because of the politics. What happened was, here's what happened. Here's the reason why Juneteenth was a holiday. In 2020, Trump had a rally in Tulsa. Was that mentioned in the Judge Joe Brown explanation about the rally in Tulsa?
No, but it gave pretty much a history of the timelines of when the Emancipation Proclamation was created and when the war ended, particularly how black former slaves in Texas, when in 1865, when they were told by some black troops that the war is over, they're free, they just stayed there for about a year and a half until like 1866, when some white troops came in and told them the exact same message. That's pretty much what Judge Joe Brown was getting at, and why it's a total embarrassment to black Americans. And it's right there.
Okay, but here's what happened with the reason why it's a holiday. And really, that's kind of like not even really important as far as it's not really important that they stayed, because it was symbolic always, because it was symbolic as an ending of slavery in the South, but it didn't necessarily end right there in the South or in Galveston. It was just symbolic. It was just a thing that people just latched onto because slavery ended in America that year in December 1865. It passed on 13th Amendment. And in Kentucky, which was a Union state, they freed like 40,000 slaves overnight when they passed the 13th Amendment. And the next year, in 1966, they freed slaves in the Choctaw Nation and the Native Nations because they were not in the federal jurisdiction. So I know about all of that.
Hey,
but
not to cut you off.
What's up?
Not to cut you off, but I wanted to interject on that particular point. Is that even during the Civil War, when slavery was declared illegal thanks to those amendments, the Native Americans still hold their slaves.
Yeah, because they weren't under the federal jurisdiction, they had their own nation, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could do their own thing. But back to what I was saying. So slavery wasn't over at that particular point, but it didn't really matter because it was always symbolic. It was just a day that they celebrated. And the reason why it became a holiday federally is because of Trump in 2020 had a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma on June 19th. So he got protested. People came out there and said, oh, this is a sacred day and a sacred place because of the race riot in Tulsa in 1920. But Tulsa is not anywhere near Galveston, Texas, where Juneteenth happened, and 1920 is nowhere near 1865. Nor did the race riot happen on June 19th. It happened on like July or earlier in June. But because those linked together, then it became a thing where Trump had to reschedule to June 20th. Then everybody went on TV and said, hey, I know about Juneteenth. I love Juneteenth. People that had no idea about it came out and said they loved it. So then they made it a federal holiday. That's the only reason why we have it today as a federal holiday. That's the only reason. If not for Trump having the rally on that day, it would not be a federal holiday, period.
Okay. Well, bottom line of all this is that people do need to understand the historical context of it, and not just react to what the television says, because it's pretty much currently just used as a political prop. Because even with those so-called race riots in Tulsa, Oklahoma, are kind of missing some context, which I think,
of course,
if a lot of people here actually listen to other black YouTubers explain it critically and not emotionally, they would get a different perspective on it than just what they've been taught in school, which is precisely the reason I actually like listening to Judge Joe Brown and Thomas Sowell best explain these type of historical contexts to give it a better perspective than the sugar-coated lesson.
No, I got you. Right on.
Mm-hmm. And one particular.
Well, we got time constraints because it's like, you're already at almost 7 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
But yeah, man, the whole thing with I hate how they took Juneteenth and made it this political thing. I hate that because I actually celebrated that. You guys know my story. I ain't gonna repeat it. I ain't gonna bore you to death. But I hate how they took it. I hate that. But I knew that was going to happen when the whole Trump thing happened. People just they took that and seized upon it as a political weapon against conservatives. So then it became, oh, you guys don't want to support Juneteenth, you're racist. Meanwhile, just yesterday, you had no idea what that was. I knew, but most people had no idea. Left or the right, they had no clue. They barely even know what Kwanzaa is. And Kwanzaa was much more well known, and Kwanzaa was a complete ridiculous nonsense. All it did was just rebrand Hanukkah, but I digress. 562, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hey, what's up, ABL? This is Jimmy Freckles here. What's going on, man?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Hey, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you and I appreciate what you're doing. I'm out here in California, man, and so there's only so many of us left. I consider myself kind of a JFK Democrat. I'm 45. My party left me. So, there's no conservative left. It's just all left. I'm out here by myself, I feel like. And, everybody's leaving. That's my problem. That's my dilemma. I'm a flag here, and everybody's leaving me. So as much as I get the cause of going to the red states are full. Like, we need help back here on the blue states. So at some point, people got to come back. And I know it's not the time right now. But anyway, I also wanted to say that Biden's trying to do that 3-month gas tax proposal. How convenient right before the election. Anyway, just wanted to say how much I appreciate you, man, and the cause.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
You have a great one.
Yeah, man, I know that it can be difficult sometimes to escape, but it's like, what are you to do? If you're living in the place and you're surrounded, you got to know when to retreat and when to press forward. And I think it needs to be a lesson. If you're living in a place that's just inhospitable and you have to leave, the lesson is don't let the new place you go to become like the old place. But unfortunately, that does not necessarily get followed too much. People just kind of make the old place, they make the new place the same as the old place. Austin, Texas is a prime example. Nashville, Tennessee is becoming like that to a certain extent, but I digress. 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Good. I'm actually surprised that it's not my first time calling, but this is my first time this night calling, and I got in right away, so I'm pretty grateful for that.
Well, I'm glad you did, man.
So, hold on, give me a second. What was I trying to remember? Oh, yeah, I remember back then, like, when you watch the mainstream media, including Fox, you don't really get a good perspective of what's actually going on until you actually watch the local news. And that's what I do a lot. I don't even watch the mainstream media to try to get a story or just deep down what's going on inside the cities. You just like, because I watch you guys and then I watch the local news. And you usually can get a really good perspective of what's going on, especially in the inner cities that's run by Democrats. I do that a lot. And I was like, wow, a lot more crime in New York than Mayor Adams is letting on. And the fact that he what was another thing that said? He said, I think it was over 500 police officers left the police department or more. And he said he's not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of that going on. And he's like kind of, it's weird how they speak. They're kind of out of touch. When you listen to him, it's like, this doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you would think he would lead, he runs the city, so you think he'd be a little bit in touch. I think he just doesn't care at all. But like you said, he's kind of out of touch.
Definitely, absolutely.
But then, like, I know I brought this up to you. I like the fact, one thing I like and I'm grateful for is that the fact that suddenly coronavirus doesn't exist anymore. They just stopped talking about it. I know some advertisements try to keep it relevant, try to keep coronavirus relevant, but it's like you just don't hear about it no more.
Now you don't hear about it anymore because it's no there's other things going on that they have shifted to, and it's not really grabbing people like they used to. Because at one point it was a fear mongering, it was a scared, people were afraid, and they wanted to just tune into it. It was like the whole Trump thing where people were just hate watching on CNN. Any negative thing about Trump they were watching, but then that starts to wear off. So it was like, okay, now what? What's going to be the next hook we put out there to get people to watch?
Yeah, and what would pretty much happen after that is when the coronavirus it just all died down, and most people will say it's from the vaccines and all that kind of stuff. But there was a few percentage that didn't get vaccinated, but it's just nobody's talking about it. Nobody's fearful. Nobody's fear mongering. I rarely see anybody wear masks anymore, so that's starting to wear off. Like the mask mandates, masks. It's extremely rare I see somebody wear a mask now compared to 2 years ago when people say this is the new norm, and then now all of a sudden you see 2 years later, it's extremely scarce and not relevant no more.
That's right.
And one more thing I wanted to touch on, ABL, was the one topic when what was it, 2 years ago? Oh yeah, basically another thing back in 2020. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't mean to bring up 2020 again, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't know what a Democrat was or a Republican was back then. That's how clueless I was with politics. But I always had a feeling it was the mainstream media. I never trusted the mainstream media because I've seen this do this for years. The past 10, 15 years, they always hype up stuff, and it's like, because I always knew they had agendas to push, but I never knew what it was. Now I know it's politics because when coronavirus came out and they were pushing all over the news, I said, okay, what's the red flags here? And I was like, oh wait, it's 2020, it's election year, so there's got to be a link between them two. And then when they said it, a lot of people said that they didn't know what it was. I don't know, because I talked to a few doctors and they already knew what it was.
Right.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what I wanted to touch on, ABL. I don't want to take up too much time. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. 925, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Loretta.
All righty, what's going on?
First of all, I'd like to thank you for giving us this platform as Americans to come and speak truth. Thank you for that. I love you. I've been with you since the beginning. I wanted to get your take on, and I believe it was yesterday, with Biden giving the president speech of there's going to be another pandemic.
Yeah,
he's asking for more. He's asking for more money, but he said it's not just to counterban the COVID. And I shouldn't really even be mentioning that on your podcast. But that there's another one coming. Don't you think Americans are awake? I mean, shouldn't they be more awake to this false, pandemic?
We should be more awake, but unfortunately, a lot of us not awake. I think maybe more of us were awake than were before the pandemic started, but I still see quite a few sleepers out there. People are still wearing these big, crazy, ridiculous masks in the car by themselves. Not as much as before, but they're still doing it. So there's still a level of fear out there. There's still a level of belief out there in what Joe Biden is saying as far as the pandemic and whatnot. So I'm not
sure. How do we wake them up?
Huh?
So how do we wake them up?
I don't really know. I mean, I think what's happened a lot over the past couple of years has woken us up. We're seeing what's going on. We're seeing that they told us a lot of lies. So that woke us up. So if that didn't wake somebody up, I'm not really sure what will. It's like having the marching band go right next to your bedside when you're sleeping and you still stay asleep. It's like, what can make you up if that didn't do it?
And one more before I let you go, because I know that you're busy with callers. But do you think that Kash Patel is going to play a role in 2024 with Trump again?
I'm not sure who that is.
Cash Patel?
No, I don't. I've heard that name, but I don't really know who he is.
Okay. Well, I love you, ABL, following you, and support you, brother. Thank you for everything you do. God bless you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
So Cash Patel, I know I've seen that name, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you something I don't really know. That's not really something it's like the January 6th stuff. I don't really know. Okay. One more call, then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. 724 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 724, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. Just long-time follower, first-time caller. I just wanted to say thank you for, putting this platform out there for everybody to see. And so everybody can wake up to. But I think everyone's missing the big picture. And I think that is perspective. A lot of people aren't really awake to what everyone else is seeing. So if you have a lot of people telling you something different and you're not hearing another side of it, because I'm originally from New York. I moved to Pennsylvania, and it was here that I woke up to see the big picture. And it's a very, very drastic difference from where I came from. So now knowing that and now seeing how the world is different, you're still having other individuals that are still blinded by what they're seeing in their neighborhood. It's different out here than it is in New York City. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're facing right now. I don't know if I'm making that clear, but the inner city is a different beast. Coming to a rural country is completely different too. And working with all these different kind of people that I've been working with, you see things differently. And yeah, they want to push the whole prospect on racism, but to be honest with you, I haven't really seen it. And that's the thing that's killing me about these Democrats. Like, me coming as an immigrant from a different country, everyone that I know is conservative. My whole family, even back at home, I'm Dominican and Haitian. And then seeing this here, it plays out completely different. Completely different. Which is kind of weird to me, because in New York City, you hear being a conservative is wrong because you want money is wrong. You need money is wrong. You should be giving your wealth. But how many of us are sitting out here going, damn, I like being broke? That's like the whole thing with the pandemic. It was that was the plan. Like, yo, stay broke. We'll give you money. Then you can, in essence, they'll buy your vote.
Right, I'm with you.
It hurt. It hurt. It hurt a lot because a lot of people are just saying the same thing that I'm hearing right now. We didn't need this money. Like, everyone that I work with, we work hard. Yeah, we're not rich. We're not. And we're trying to stay within our means. But in essence, we're broke. But that we're broke because the government's making us broke. So, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this. This thing is just hilarious to me. Because sitting here, just watching your show, watching other people's shows, and I'm sitting here listening to the same thing, and I'm like, yo, perspective is a big thing. Like, nobody's listening to the same thing that we're all hearing out here in the country that they're hearing out in the city. Like, I go back to see my mom once in a while, and I see the same thing, and I'm like, yo, we're not hearing that out in PA.
Right.
So, I don't know. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's always good to get different perspective, just to hear different things than what you are used to. So I listen to all news sources. I read a lot just to get the the true picture of what's happening. Local news is always good rather than the national stuff before they put because when she gets to national, they put their spin on it and try to make it be, they try to get ratings and clicks and views, but they don't do that on local news, really not too much, unless you're in a really big market like Chicago, New York, LA. So it's always good to get different perspective and see what's really going on rather than just hearing the spin on what someone wants you to believe. But thank you for your call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for answering me. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All righty. That will be a wrap for me. Thank you for you guys calling in, participating in the show. If you couldn't get on tonight, don't blame me. You know who to blame. Blame the white man. But thank y'all again. I'll be back live again on Saturday, as always. And I'm here pretty much every day with pre-recorded. If I have content, if I don't have content, I ain't going to force it. But shout out to the moderators keeping the trolls out of the chat. It's been a pretty cool chat tonight. You know, everything's been all good tonight. But that'll be a wrap for me. So let's read the super chats right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. Thank you to Hail Mary for your donation. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox who says, I've not had a drop of alcohol since January 1988. I take no medication. To the people saying I'm drunk, you are wrong. Also, convention in the states, term limits, and drug tests for all representatives and employees. Thank you to Miranda Panda who says, color spitting facts, wake up. Thank you to Buck versus Windshoot who says, was Jesus born on December 25th? Probably not. It's about the thought. Just like Juneteenth isn't accurate. It celebrates slavery ending. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't had the holiday before. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's the whole point. Buck versus Windshoot also says, for those of us in blue states, now is the time to be vocal. There are more of us in blue states than we think. We must speak up. Also, riddle me this. How in the world did Putin fix Biden's bicycle to attack him like that? If he wants to ride, maybe a tricycle would be better. There you go. But thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate it. I'll be back, of course, again, live on Saturday. And I'm here every day with pre-recorded videos. Subscribe to the if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Also, this is a podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform at 8 a.m. tomorrow, which would be on a Thursday. You can find me on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor. Links for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And thank you to Bean for your critical hit emoji donation. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.